gag him.
Come
You
on
mean-
now.
There you go. There you
Ew.
go.
Oh,
See?
I thought I wasn't
Gag.
invited. I'm glad I was invited. I was kind of depressed, you know?
Well, I mean, you got at
Right.
least the
Let's-
first part done.
Let's start with Lewis. So he's at like chapter 10 or so. He
Yeah.
just got to the
Yeah.
academy. What are your thoughts?
So basically, I thought the writing was pretty cool because fucking it from like Bane's POV and surprisingly I thought Bane wasn't gonna be too likable of a character because he's a Sith and usually Sith are just kind of I'm mean a lot of the time. But currently Bane is actually really relatable.
Yeah,
And
That's something
I
that's
enjoy
really-
it.
entirety of the book, honestly. Like,
And
he's really well written.
also, ironically, it very much seems like an anime. Mostly the fact that they literally have a high school anime plotline.
I mean, are you just making this revelation? This is
It's
Star Wars.
good shit.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's gonna always been an anime
Yeah.
plot.
The
It's
soldier.
all-
I skipped the prologue because you said the prologue's a slog.
Yeah, the prologue
Uh,
can just be really fucking confusing when you
I-
haven't read the first. Like, rest of the book.
So far, my favorite part was actually the game of Sabak. That was so
Right?
fucking
So
intense,
fucking
bro.
tense, dude. So
Bro.
well written.
That was good shit. That was good shit.
Like,
Like-
oh my god. I love that the book actually makes a realistic case as to why there's like a genuine Sith society and an empire of people supporting them.
Yeah, man.
Like-
Yeah.
That's good shit. Like,
Because like, it's hard to fucking think of a good reason when you realize that, oh, they're all about hate and anger and destruction and shit. But it's like, oh, wait a minute, people like actually live this way. Like,
Yeah.
there is one disappointment I have though. That's kind of the time skip. Like, I kind of get why they did it because it'd be like another like 5 chapters if they didn't have a time skip.
Mhm.
But also, I would actually have liked to learn or like actually experienced firsthand the battle of what is it called? You know what I'm talking about, the massacre.
oh,
Wait, the Kashyyyk. Yeah, Kashyyyk.
Yeah, the one. Yeah. Kashyyyk. Fucking. Like, I'd actually like to experience him. Like, I wouldn't want to see him go to training because that's a pain in the ass.
yeah.
But I wouldn't mind if they skipped that. But I would have liked to actually see him rise to the ranks and use his like new cunning abilities to like try and impress his superiors and rise the ranks and shit.
See,
Or
with
maybe.
the grand scheme of the book, in like retrospect, I think it's a good thing they didn't go over that. I think that would have been better suited as kind of like a book in its own, like just
Yeah.
that entire
Yeah.
conflict. I don't think it would fit too well into the story without it just killing the pacing.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said, just with like reading like the first 10 chapters. But then again, I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that Bane is just really likable. So I just want to see him do more things right now,
Mhm.
right? And especially with his group of friends that he found in the military, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But the military part, it was kind of a slog the first time to listen to because it was sort of just like exposition on, oh shit, Bane is really cool and is doing cool stuff. Isn't
Yeah.
that cool?
Mhm.
But this time I didn't really, listen 100% to it. I was watching Bob play Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. I was half listening to it because
Yeah.
I already heard it.
Well, honestly,
But
What about the
The
what
space
about the
battle-
snipers?
Yeah, the sniper scene is what I'm talking about. That's literally just a scene of, hey, Bane is cool. Isn't this cool? Look what he did. It's cool, right?
I thought it was really cool when he got flashbanged and he like still shot up like 3
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. It's still fucking cool.
It's still fucking cool.
But,
Yeah.
like,
I think it just took a little bit too long to
Yeah.
like build up to it because it like spent a while telling you how cool he is to the point that I was like, oh my god, I get it. So by the time it gets to showing how cool it just is really, oh my god, I get it. I think it would have been done better if they cut down a bit of the beginning of him being a soldier, just talking with his group and the narrator going, oh, he's really cool. I think they should have just shortened it
I
bit.
think something that actually would have helped it, like narratively at least, and made it like be a little bit more bearable is actually explain that like during this event, like it actually slowed down for him a bit, but due to like his foresight in the Force. But maybe that's a little bit stretching like the powers, which makes sense. Like you don't want
I
to
don't
stretch the powers too
really
much.
see how that's an issue.
Yeah, but I
And
think that well, if
I
it's
think
not
that's
an
just kind of
issue,
like an added detail. It doesn't really matter because I think the book is purposely trying not to describe the Force completely to reflect the fact that the POV character Bane doesn't fully understand it.
yeah. But I
Hence
mean, like,
why you then get quotes such as, "Oh, it was glowing, but what the fuck was with that?" Just like I don't know what happened, but I was able to like take on this like near inhuman ability. Like,
yeah,
hence
I
why you
know.
get things like that.
Yeah, but you could explain that without him knowing what it is, you know? Like at this point his powers aren't like controlled at all.
No,
Like they just kind of happen. So, you
no, I
know,
just think something that specific is a little unnecessary.
oh, like I said, I think it could have made it a little bit more bearable, personally speaking.
I feel like that them
Then it would
not
have made the length of the scene make sense
It-
thematically a bit more, but what I would have just done is just cut it down to
But
about
that
half.
still no, that wouldn't help your case at all, Lewis. It would literally just make the scene drawn like longer. It wouldn't keep your interest because you still have all the fat that you're complaining about, plus an explanation of the Force that you already know. For
Well,
you
I
personally,
feel
that wouldn't
like-
But
add
you don't
anything.
need to explain it. That's the thing. You just put in a line of it's as if everything was slowed down and shit like that. You know?
And I think that's also a little kind of a shittier way to explain it as the place like slowing down when you do have the idea of foresight rather than things slowing down.
I don't know. Like I said, it's just something I could see as maybe helping it.
I mean, they did have that multiple times. We have just not been paying attention. They already had the ideas of foresight in his battle.
Well, yeah, I know. Like he has like foresight, like he has precognition to an extent,
Kind of the explanation there.
but I don't know. I just thought the scene was a bit too long. I think it was shorter. I definitely think if it was shorter, it would have been a lot more entertaining. And also the space battle, I didn't particularly enjoy the space battle either.
Space battle.
Yeah,
Oh, do you
yeah,
mean-
that's right. I remember that.
the one where his master or not his master, but like the guy who's training him or whatever is like commanding the fleet. I think it's the guy who's training him.
Were you really focusing on the battle? That was like completely supplement to what the purpose of that was.
Yeah, yeah,
Like there was no battle, almost. Like I feel like you just completely missed it.
What do you
Wait,
mean
are
there
you talking about
was
the
almost
battle
no
where
battle?
they were using
Yeah, the first space
foresight
battle was used
and
as a way to kind of establish the playing field between the Jedi and the Sith, and establish
Yeah.
the new Sith characters. Like that.
yeah.
There
Yeah,
is
I don't know.
almost no focus on the battle itself. I feel like you just weren't paying
Wait,
attention in that
Lewis,
front.
are you talking about the
There was
space?
more.
Let me. Lewis,
Yeah,
are you
there
talking about the
was
space
more
battle where
focus
they
on
were
the
in the
battle,
meditation
which was
and
the
it was the meditation room?
Yeah. Like I know
don't
what was
I
going
thought that
on.
was pretty fucking fascinating. That was
I
a
don't
pretty
know.
effective opening.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think it would have been a bit more impactful if they didn't already explain the fact that the guy who's there is already like a top tier Sith master.
Huh? I
Like,
don't.
the-
Why?
The Lord Khan?
yeah,
Well, no, they didn't say that. I mean, we knew the
Well,
Twi'lek
Wait.
that brought Bane in was
I don't
top
think-
tier, but
Hold
Khan,
on, Lewis. I'm kind of confused. What do you mean by that exactly?
well, my issue's with the space battle, and you go, but there was no space battle, but they described all the maneuvers of the
No,
spaceship.
no, not that, not that. The fucking. I mean, when you said the thing about like why they like immediately like described him as like the Uber Sith Lord, I'm kind of confused on that.
Well, they said he was a Sith master,
Yeah.
and they described all Sith masters as being unbelievably powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, then why did you presented it as an
Uh,
issue? Am I wrong on that? You guys got
No.
that impression too, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, because you're talking about how it was like showing the playing field. I got that. Like they were both using battle meditation, except one was obviously the Jedi was obviously a lot more adept in it because I think it was it was a she, right? Not
Yeah,
misremembering
yeah.
that.
It was
Yeah,
an
she was
old
like
character.
a more adept at it, and she's using like her battle meditation to like soothe the soldiers, whatever the fuck, make them focus and fight harder. And the other guy was using his battle meditation to make his soldiers fight harder and even go to the point of like suicidal fanaticism. Yeah, I got all of that. It's just before that, there was a lot of like fucking oh, these ships are maneuvering here and here and here, and I'm just like, okay, but like I don't really have like a picture of the battlefield because there's no references here. Like I thought the fucking the context around the battle was cool, but I didn't enjoy listening to like the actual battle part of it.
Yeah, I can
Because
understand that, to be honest.
I more enjoyed the character interactions because like the battles they don't really mean too much to me, and because a lot of them are just, how do I put this? Like the battle scenes don't really mean much to me because I don't have a visual aid, but I can like envision how somebody's thinking in their mind, right? And also, not all the time you know what's going on in all the characters' minds. So
I
you can make
think this kind
inferences on
of
what's going on.
critique from you has to do more with large scale battles, and it has to do
Yeah.
with fight scenes in general. Just when
Yeah,
because
that's what I
you
mean.
did get thrusted into a battle where you don't know the sides really, and it was more of a character introduction. It explains the sides and their purpose, but you don't really know anything about the actual structure of the army and whatnot. Like,
Yeah, like it explains like how like the Sith and the Jedi work, or like how their armies work at least, which is kind of cool, right? But also, I think a lot of the reason I was boring is because also probably could have already guessed that because but that's just because I already have like previous knowledge on it. So it's just like, oh yeah, the Jedi are like fanatical and they like raise people from birth to like do specific things in the Jedi or whatever. Yeah, I know that. And then the other guy, he's like using his hatred for the Jedi and his precognition to guess their moves. All right, and it's like, all right, that's cool. Like, I get that, but and
so.
partially speaking, you also already spoiled this part for me as well because you already told me about it. So, yeah, or maybe we got that far when we were listening to the audiobook. I don't remember. Yeah, but anyway, the battle itself didn't capture my interest as much as like the Sabacc game, for example, because it really got into like the mind of like fucking Bane and the fucking like explain like the other characters like motions and how they were fucking feeling and shit, what they were saying, and like you could actually get like an air of the room and take a guess on what everybody else is thinking, since it doesn't always tell you directly what they're thinking, since it's Bane's POV.
I don't know. I feel like this may be a difference just because that you're like subject to the time lock of how fast the narrator narrates it. But I don't know. When I was reading it, I kind of I guess I blew through the battle. Like the battle really did not seem like lasted long at all. Like,
Yeah,
just like a page or two. Really.
I think partially it does have to do with the fact that the narrator seems to read unbearably slow sometimes.
Yeah, it seemed like
it took
that to
3
me.
hours to get through 10 chapters, and I'm not exactly a fast reader, but I know it definitely would have taken me fucking 3 hours.
Well, it'll be like that for audiobooks in general because they're gonna do like dramatic pauses. They're gonna take breaks for the music and shit. Like,
yeah, like I think it's definitely more enjoyable than like reading it off a PDF though. But if I had my own like book, I'd probably read it instead because it's just faster.
Yeah, because like I don't know about Rem and fucking Skydog over here, but when it came to the actual battle part of the battle, it
Mhm.
seemed to really just to go by like nothing.
It really, to me, it seemed like that. It seemed like the introduction
Yeah.
of, like the introduction battle in freaking episode 3. Remember that battle? It seemed very similar to that in my mind, at the very least. I mean,
Well,
it's not as well done as intro battle episode 3, but it served a similar purpose. It established some stuff. It did some stuff from the beginning.
well, ironically, I agree with that. It also felt like for me, it felt like the entry battle to like Revenge of the Sith. But if that was just like if it was just being explained to you, but it was only like the beginning part, you're like, okay, I mean, the battle part's cool and all. It's nice to hear about like the Hammerhead like fucking battle cruisers and the battleship Hate and Wrath or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Doing their maneuvers and like the ships or whatever. That's cool. And how like he's using his battle meditation to like lead the army and shit, but using his precognition to like give commands. That's cool.
I can't agree
But
with
then it
is
gets
that-
to like how like General Grievous and like fucking Anakin like interact with each other and shit, or Obi-Wan interact with him, and then Palpatine and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm interested now.
I think honestly, when it comes to opening battle scenes, like when it comes to Revenge of the Sith, it was majority just eye candy. There wasn't a whole lot there to chew on. I'd honestly make an argument that this book, though the actual battle itself was lacking in terms of writing quality, I appreciated how interconnected it was. So you actually had useful dialogue in between the battle and whatnot, which was nice.
For me, the space battle was honestly kind of forgettable because I just wanted to get back to the Darth Bane shit.
But
at
least when you read it, it didn't go on long enough to really be an issue to bring up.
I mean, it was still something like
I appreciate like the actual like explanations of like the ideologies and shit. Like that was cool, but I didn't really enjoy the battle part. Then again, that might just be because I don't really enjoy reading battles.
I think it also just has to do with the way that the space battle was written, because honestly, like, in terms of Star Wars books, that was just a very lacklusterly written space battle. Like, for instance, I know Remington talked about this, but space battles in the Thrawn trilogy are done miles better than that ever was.
Yeah.
Close. Like, they're super easy to follow and whatnot. Like, they're...
especially...
is that, like, I don't know where the fuck everybody is. So, like... I don't need to know. Of course, I don't need to know exactly where every ship is, right? But I don't get an idea of like the battlefield. You could say
it was from what it described. It was a pretty standard, just Republic on one side, Sith on the other. There wasn't really anything that was.
Yeah, I mean, they described like a couple dreadnoughts.
There were like flanking maneuvers and shit. I guess
the battle also felt small. If I'm being real, like. I know they tried to like make it sound big, but they were only like describing
I'd say it wasn't really that big. It was pretty small. That is the theme that goes with the rest of this book, which you kind of got when you read a little more about Rusan. But the theme with this is that the big battles of this era are smaller because the galaxy has just been so war torn from prior Jedi Sith conflicts that everyone is poor.
Yeah.
So it's like the big battles are smaller battles compared to literally anything in like the Clone Wars or Galactic Civil War and past that, or even before that. Like this is a time where the galaxy is extremely poor, and we see that highlighted really well with when Bane is still on his mining planet and the Republic are like using them as slave labor. And once again, you see that a little more if you remember later on the book. Lewis didn't get to this, but I know you did when they say that like, you know, the Jedi like separated from the Republic to make like one army to centralize just because they were spread so thin.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like an idea of we need to separate ourselves from the Republic. It was the idea of, oh my God, we have like no reinforcements. We need to centralize.
Fascinating.
Yeah, well,
cool.
Well, honestly, the Thrawn trilogy had much better space battles, especially Dark Force Rising, the ending battle of that. That was some pure.
That was so fucking good.
That was so cool.
Also,
I would.
was that assault on Coruscant with those meteors at the beginning of Last Command?
Oh yeah. That was so cool too.
I eaten my belly.
Talking about fights, another fight that I thought was a bit of a slog was the one where he fought the guy in the beginning, just because it felt kind of goofy.
Okay, no, now you're just wrong on that. You are flat out fucking wrong. That was done so obnoxiously well.
The writing was good. I just mean the issue with it is there's they say there's a rivalry between them, and I feel that, right? But the other character I don't really give a fuck about. The only one I really care about is Bane.
What?
I don't know.
Gerd.
What? I don't know what the criticism is.
Random.
He was
just a random drinking buddy of his father. You aren't supposed to give a crap about him.
He was used as just an inciting incident and a way to seamlessly give exposition about, the fucking struggles he goes through, and he serves that purpose really fucking well.
And honestly, I prefer him over, saying, Darth Bane, he had a lot of trouble. During his childhood.
Could you imagine if they just exposition dumped? What if it took place after the fucking fight and it starts with him on the monorail, from the fucking fight?
Yeah, I prefer to see the fight, And honestly, freaking
and it was
biting
done
off
so well.
Yeah, he bit off a guy's freaking thumb, and it just immediately set the tone for the book.
The way it described, how he used the Force, unknowingly, and how they weaved in the exposition of his life with his father through the abusive friend of his father, it was done so well.
Honestly,
that's one of the best openings. It
might have also been though because I've already listened to it with you again, so I had to listen to it a second time.
You're just mad because of that crunch sound that the Audible guy made. It sounded like he was biting into a piece of fruit. And you're just like,
crackle pop.
No. Yeah, you're just.
I remember enjoying it more when I listened to it the first time. When I read things a second time, I don't really enjoy them too much.
I'm just saying, your opinion on that was fucking wrong. Objectively,
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. For me,
unforgivable.
For me, that immediately set the tone for the book. And I'm like, dude, this is gonna be a dude book. It's gonna be
it's gonna be a dude bro book right there.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, I feel like the Sabbat game sets the tone, really. I really think it does.
Alright, Skydog, I think you should start first with the beginning of what we read after Lewis.
Alright, do we still want to keep Lewis here for spoilers, or
I feel like we should mute him, that way we don't spoil everything.
Personally, seeing as how he reacted to that first fight scene and how he digested the rest of that shit, no, doesn't deserve to be here.
That's mean.
Oh no.
Fighting words.
Hey, John, you didn't read the book, you?
Yeah, go give Bob some company.
But not all of it.
You read the first 5 pages and then you said it was boring.
I got to chapter 2.
Well, no, it's always... Hold up. It's always good to have everyone's opinion. So, John, why do you find it boring?
I want to know why Louis Chan is objectively wrong.
Because we disagree where the book really starts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it's just a Sabbat game. I think that sets the tone.
Nah.
You mean nah?
Well, it's a good reinforcement of the tone, but
it's a reinforcement of not only just the fight scene and the establishment of his life in that fight scene, but also the way he decided to collect all that in his brain on the monorail.
Exactly. See,
it's a culmination of what we already saw, just actually being played out with more people.
Yeah, I think that's more effective.
No.
You mean no? What do you mean no?
Okay, arguably the scene was just because the scene was more enjoyable doesn't mean that's where it should start.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with anything?
Really, with books and movies, you have to have a little build up. You know, have a good fight scene in the beginning, and then you go, then you build up to
when
like
I say Revenge of the Sith. If I say Revenge of the Sith really starts at fucking I don't know, fucking Anakin talking to Padme, that doesn't mean that like the rest of the movie or the beginning of the movie doesn't matter. It's still build up.
Yeah.
It's still build up and it's still important.
I think Lewis here is
arguably you can actually make
the book
case
doesn't
that
get good until the Sabacc game. I think that's what Lewis is trying to say.
I think the Sabacc game is the actual inciting argument, or not the inciting argument, the inciting incident that drives him on his quest anyway.
No, what? No, that's just false. He wouldn't even be there if he didn't bite off that dude's thumb.
Yeah, but also if he didn't play that Sabacc game, he wouldn't have fucking had to go on the run. I think
he wouldn't
because the thing is
without biting off the thumb. The inciting incident for the entire spiral was him biting off his thumb and getting punished.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah, but also he could have like the thing is that also fucking that just feels like that could have been any day of the week because they keep talking about how like they abused him and now they all fucking hate him and spite him and they're trying to get him fucked over. Like I think the Sabacc game is where it fucking starts because...
That wasn't any day of the week. The dude literally planned it.
Yeah? What?
He went out of his way to, like, actually fuck him over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you think that people who tried to fuck him over didn't, like, you know, go out of their way to do it?
No, they didn't, because there was a drunken rage with their dad. It was literally a pastime activity. It was explained that way in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
now that Hearst is gone, you know, he can't be out there with his buddy beating on him. But now, you know, after all this fucking time with Hearst being gone, all of his fucking anger is probably gonna come out and he just wants to fucking finish it.
Yeah.
So no, it's not like any day of the week.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I still think Sabacc is the actual the start of the book.
Can we agree to disagree on this? You know.
Let's agree to disagree.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Louis-chan is objectively wrong. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh God, no. Okay, now Louis-chan leave.
Wait, no, John.
Wait,
all right,
John.
We gotta get John's opinion. Because even if he's only read the first 5... Never mind, he's already gone.
He left. Dang it. Okay, never mind.
No, bring him back. I'm dragging him back.
Oh. Come on. Answer for your crimes.
We should at least get everyone's opinion in here.
We need everyone's opinion. Of the first 2 chapters you read, what did you think?
John, come on.
Do you even remember the book?
A tiny bit. It was back in 10th grade.
Oh, 10th grade.
Okay.
I remember a tiny bit, but not all.
I think I sent you a PDF.
You did.
Read the first 2 chapters right now.
Read that PDF. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Send them away.
Yeah, get
send
them
it back. Send it back
to the gulags. Send it to the wall.
John, you'll be here for the next episode.
Also, Sabacc is the hook.
I honestly agree with... Okay, hold on. Okay, you ready? Okay.
Also,
I agree with Lewis on the part that Sabacc is the hook. But I also disagree with the fact that the beginning part is useless.
I never said that. I never said it was useless.
That's fine. That's whatever. Let's move on.
Okay,
anyway,
I guess I disagree with the part
like
where you say you dislike it. I think it definitely has its...
I think the fight scene itself is over-explained. But...
Oh man, it's like everything you say I just disagree with right now.
Okay, go away.
It's an entire chapter fight. If this was like Dragon Ball, it's an entire episode fight, you'd be like, okay, this is too long. I think they could have done it a bit more effective.
Alright, Liz, what did you think of the fight against like the 3 troopers that jump him? Did you think that was goodly paced?
Well, it was brutal and quick. like how I'd expect the jumping to be.
True.
Yeah,
And
the shortest fight in the book.
Probably. I assume it's pretty short.
It was well done.
I think it was pretty well done. Yeah.
Didn't have the impact any of the others, but
No, it didn't have the same impact.
Nah,
I don't think so at all.
but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah, I think it was quite acceptable, and it also fucking helped obviously helped the fucking book go along. Otherwise, he still would have been stuck on the fucking planet.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm gonna go now.
Okay, goodbye. Okay.
Louis Chen is objectively wrong. With bad book opinions.
Okay. Let's talk spoilers. Okay.
Well, you say spoilers, but this is our actual meeting episode.
Okay, so we started with chapter 9, right? Yeah,
I think we read chapter 9. I think because I read a chapter ahead.
Yeah, what chapter did you get to, Rum?
I got to 19.
Alright, cool, that's good.
I also got to 19.
See, there we go.
Because we all read... I read a chapter ahead because that cliffhanger. I was like, no.
Do the crime, pay the time.
Yeah.
Alright, I want you to start, Skydog.
Alright.
Chapter 9. So... As soon as it gets to the academy. What do you think?
Let's see here. The lightsabers. The training lightsabers. That's what I want to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a pretty cool concept in my personal opinion. That they have these training lightsabers that they made out of, these tiny bugs or things inside the temples, I think they said it was.
Yeah.
It also made me think, what do the Jedi use for, combat training?
See, the Jedi at this time, they have more money than the Sith, obviously. I think they literally have, a hybrid between a lightsaber and, an electric staff, where it's, a real, light blade, but it's not able to actually pierce, but instead, just zaps you and shit. I think that's what it is. Either that was developed later on, or they're still using swords, one or the other. Because I know in the events of KOTOR, 3,000 years prior, they're still using swords as training sabers. So I'm not sure if that technology advanced to actual training hybrid sabers yet, but I'd imagine they probably would have at that point.
But yeah, I definitely felt the training lightsabers were pretty interesting, idea, and how they even they explained it to be. So, what else was there? When it would cut to the main, not the larger scale what was going on, the space battle and all of that. I wasn't too interested in it because I just wanted to be there with Bane and just know everything he did, because he was the interesting part. That space battle that Lewis was talking about, I honestly didn't really give two shits about because I just wanted to go back to Bane.
Yeah.
I also agree with Lewis, while the space battle was there were parts where it was the Dreadnought was doing a sweeping pass this way, and then it would turn around and do another sweeping pass and just get on with it. Well, it was interesting how the Sith would do the battle meditation against the Jedi battle meditation. It definitely had its merit, but I was also I just want to get back to Bane, just get this over with.
It could have been done a bit better, yeah.
Yeah, that space battle was very weak.
I think it was mostly pacing that really had to do with it.
Yeah. I just didn't enjoy the space battle. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Now when it brought up the Jedi, that what's it called? Defected or no, the one that broke away from the Jedi.
Oh,
Githany. Fucking love Githany.
Oh,
is she waifu material?
Girl.
She waifu material?
Yeah, I think she is. She is.
I'm still determining that.
She's well, I like that part where she immediately went.
Yo! I have a question. How are you guys gonna make?
Wait, what?
Oh, it could range from a measly 15 minutes to 2 hours.
All right, cool. So while you guys do that, I'll play Tarkov with them for a little bit.
All right, cool. Have
when
fun.
When you're done, we play Hunt. Cool.
I'm going to sleep after this meeting, but whatever.
All right.
Where was I? Oh, the lady. Okay.
Get it.
Yeah,
Well, whenever they were bringing up her like defect from like the bigger army, like I honestly at that point I didn't care because it was like, oh, it's just some defecting Jedi, and this explains how they do. I'm glad they brought her back. So I mean, at least that wasn't useless. I'm also glad they didn't go into the whole battle of the Sith versus the Light. What did they call themselves?
Yeah.
The Light.
There's the Army of Light.
Yeah, the Army of Light. I'm glad they just completely skipped over that because I wasn't going to give two shits about that battle.
They go into it later on in the book, which we haven't gotten to, but it's actually like fascinating because it starts to intertwine with Bane and shit. So
okay, well, I was about to say better
they
because
work it up.
I was like, I'm not going to give two shits about this upcoming space battle because I just want to get back to Bane. I'm just being real. If it's not with Bane, then I'm just
Bane
not
is
interested.
just so fucking interesting. That's one of the curses of fucking. I feel like when you like hit $1 million gold mine with writing good characters, that you can never fill time with a B plot because everyone will just want to get back to the good shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But like, I was just like, oh, the answer to the battle is this. I'm just like, thank you. I really didn't want to.
I thought it was super fucking funny how they introduced Githny though, like fucking straight up, fucking just like we have a defector, and then the perfect woman comes strolling in, and I'm imagining like fucking American woman playing as she's like fucking power walking towards me and shit.
That's about how I was thinking, you know, like femme fatale, you know.
Look at me.
I was like, hell yeah, this is what this book needed, femme fatale. Thank you. This makes the book 10 times better. I like that. You know,
I will say when it went into detail about her and her like how beautiful she was, or like how all the guys were looking at her. It really took its
time. It really like, drills into you.
I was like, can we move on because I just want to get back to Bane.
I get it. She's good looking, but have you taken the time to see how good looking Bane is?
I mean, have you seen how many muscles that man has?
It also takes time to fucking describe his fucking muscles every now and then.
I'm just like, okay, I get it. He's strong, she's beautiful.
Yep. Just fuck already, goddamn. Ren, what are you thinking?
Oh, well, what am I thinking? Yeah. Oh, one part I really enjoyed about the book was like most hero journeys, you typically have the fall of the character where he fails or like someone beats him up only for him to rise again. You know, I like how Darth Bane took that and subverted it with him freaking killing that one guy. What's the name? The lizard guy. You know, and after that fight, you think, oh, he's only gonna go up, but no, it caused him to freaking lose the Force and be like an outcast. And I thought, wow, that's so cool. That was such a cool freaking diversion of that.
Super fucking cool.
That was so interesting.
And then he humiliates him, and then he just falls into a fucking spiral of depression.
Yeah, I thought that was brilliant. I was like, dude,
really humanizes him too, which I think is really fucking good.
It really does.
Man isn't just a fucking mindless Sith Lord who's fucking strong at the Force and fucking has some vision that he wants to accomplish. He's like a genuine human being who doesn't know everything and is like cautious and like weary and shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it makes him very relatable.
Struggles with emotions and whatnot, and it's so refreshing, especially in context of how like overbearing a Sith philosophy can be on a person.
Yeah,
it's just he's written so fucking well. Skydog.
Yes.
What's up?
Okay, I like the part where it like brought up the fact that not only did the like killing of the lizard guy brought him down, but the realization that he killed his father. I was like,
that was so
well.
I was like, not only is he dealing with just killing a random innocent, I say innocent, but like someone that most likely didn't deserve to honestly die.
In context of Star Wars, of course.
Yes.
Any other series, he deserved to die.
Yes, but like in this, it's a weird way to explain it, but like he didn't have to die. Like, but I also like the fact that the Blade Master brought up the fact that the lizard guy did have like a force shield up, but Bane literally destroyed his force shield and killed him.
Oh yeah,
because you know that little passive force shield.
Yeah.
And you
Also,
know, I'm
that's
glad
something
they
that's-
explained the little force shield for like why
Yeah.
force users don't just fucking use the force
That
on
is
each
like
other.
crucial to know for Star Wars, and it's a shame it's never once brought up in the movies
Yeah.
ever.
Because you're
Like,
like, why don't you just push like your enemy or stuff like that? And like even in Revenge of the Sith, when you see Anakin and Obi-Wan push each other, like is that just two forces facing each other, or is there a shield that they're trying to break through too?
Yep, there's a shield, and
Or
I
why
think
don't
that's
they just keep doing the
worked.
force attacks?
Yeah, without the idea of a force shield, like Star Wars just breaks entirely.
Mhm.
Like there's always the question of why the fuck don't they just use the force? But you know, force shield is the fucking amazing explanation. And I love how they explained it as like that's something that's drilled into you as second nature just to always have up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, you know, like in points where you do see in Star Wars where a force user successfully, you know, uses the force on someone, they either A, broke through their force shield, or B, they just like their second nature left them. They were so focused on one thing that they forgot to keep up their shield, and the other person took advantage of it. Like, it's such a nice, like, fucking ribbon around the force that just works. Like a ribbon on a book. It just works.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, mwah, 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 mwah. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I lick up my fingers. Finger looking good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Should we talk about the Serac, the second battle of Serac in the freaking rain? That was so cool.
Ooh, yeah.
That part was so cool. He freaking breaks his bone, where he defeats him, and he almost goes in for the kill, but then he like holds back. I thought that was so cool.
I was say we're jumping a little too far ahead. I'm trying to like go a little bit in order, and then Red's just like, let's skip to the very end.
Sorry, there's so many cool
Because I know you're
parts.
excited, but let's like jump from like plot to plot.
How about we talk about Githany for a bit? Since Ryan's
Yeah, since
But
Ryan.
actually,
was
I was still,
fucking
like,
head
on the
over heels
father
over
part.
fucking Githany.
Oh, you're still on the.
Oh
fucking-
yeah, that's right. We're not even. We talked about Githany, but then we went back. Yeah.
Yeah, because
okay.
Githany was introduced, but like then she's forgotten about for a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think back. Fucking 10 chapters is too much to remember.
It was like that's why I like reading it like the day before of like the meeting, just so like everything's fresh.
Yeah. I gotta start.
That's
so.
why the extra day waiting kind of hurt me.
Oh, I thought the imagery was kind of fucking amusing to think about of like his fucked up dreams afterwards, where he's like they're all merging together into think.
Yeah. Where he like sees a lizard.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
I like lizards. Anyway, hey,
No,
you want to hear something? Something pretty funny about religious shit, real
Can
quick.
you not just be patient?
No, because I'll forget this in like 20, 30 minutes.
Write it down.
That's too much work, and it'll take 2 seconds anyway.
Just spill
Come
it.
on.
Fuck, I'm waiting for a coconut. Anyway, yeah. So my dad was apparently talking about some shit where the reason you wake up at like 3 a.m. Is because fucking Jesus died at like 3 p.m. like in the afternoon, and the devil does the opposite, and 3 a.m.
dies in the opposite
Wait,
hour.
whoa.
the devil fucking and his demons like roam at 3 a.m. and that's why like all bad shit happens at 3 a.m. and I was just like are you sure that's not just because it's the middle of the night and people are sleeping at that time?
3 a.m. is also oddly specific. That's a very bold claim.
Well, like
I don't know, man.
Like your family is Hispanic, right? So they're probably Catholic. I'm assuming.
They're Christian. Well,
they're Christian.
Okay, not really. My mom is.
really.
They're
what
in a
is- what the fuck is it
culmination.
called? What
I
the
don't
fuck
think
is
they're
it
like
called?
actual proper go to church goers.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. They pretend. That
It's just
they're-
like whatever their mind comes up with. It's make believe. So it's really kind of a toss in the ballpark to see what they actually believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
my
well,
mom is a Jehovah's Witness, and my dad is the fucking the black people, the thing that the black people are.
Christian.
No, like
Don't say gospel because that's just Christian. That's just Christian.
it's like Constantinople. No, not Catholicism.
What?
No,
It's definitely not Constantinople.
no. Well, yeah. I forget what it's called. It's basically based on Christianity, but I don't know what it's exactly called.
Okay. Based
But
on
it's
Christianity?
weird.
KKK?
Well, Jehovah's Witness by itself is very weird. Even among like most Christians that I know, it's typically shunned.
Aren't the
So,
Jehovah
really?
Witnesses the ones that go door to door?
Yeah.
They're the cult.
Yeah, they're very cultish.
Yeah, except my mom's not actually a devout member. She just pretends to be.
They're like
Yeah, well-
Mormons on the go.
Yeah, Mormons on the go.
What?
Okay.
I'm just gonna type it. What's the black people religion? And if it comes up,
Okay. Want to talk about spoilers again? But
Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here,
we're literally
Lou.
talking
Go
about
back.
spoilers.
fine.
yeah, you caught me mid spoiler. Okay.
We're
Okay.
good boys.
Where was I? Oh yeah, lizard guy with the
Yeah.
body of his dad. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, that was so like.
But like to him, it must be like traumatizing. Two people that you probably killed. merged
I
into
was
one.
kind of somewhat imagining it as like the body of his dad with, but like the eel lizard thing from the fucking, from fucking the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
had it
yeah.
sticking out. I was just imagining him just wailing on fucking little baby Bane with his head just flicking back and forth. So fucking.
But something
good.
I really enjoy about this book is it really goes into Bane's thoughts, like his thought process.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
the entire fucking thing.
It's. I think honestly, Drew Karpyshyn is by far my favorite writer of the Star Wars Expanded Universe when it comes to. Oh my fucking god!
No, hey, get out of here.
What it was though? It's Pentecostal. Okay, that's all you needed to say.
Pentecostal,
okay.
thank you, Jesus Christ. One of my favorite writers, probably my favorite writer for the EU, not because of like what he's written, but just his writing style alone. I think is the most like easily digestible writing style like ever. Like it goes into he goes into the perfect amount of detail to be inside of someone's head from a third person point of view without going into too much detail.
Mm.
Like it gives you just enough, and I think that's fucking great. But it's not like just enough to the point where everything he says is worth a fucking theory video on YouTube. Like
No.
it fucking tells you what he thinks,
Hmm.
but doesn't over explain it. Which is important because it's like first person perspective from a third person narrator. And it's
Yeah.
really fucking well done. Like so well. Honestly, like Timothy Zahn, killer writer when it comes to plot. But I think overall I prefer Karpyshyn's style.
Well, for me, it would just it flows together very smoothly. Drew Karpyshyn, while Zahn, it's very stop and go. Which is
you can
good
tell
for
Zahn
plot,
is kind of writing it more as like a movie in a book.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very,
He's
like-
writing it as a movie.
Yeah, he's writing it by the event and what the characters are doing. There's not a lot of insight for the characters per se, but their actions are the type of things that like speak louder than words in his novels. It's definitely made more from a movie type perspective, whereas I feel like Drew Karpyshyn is definitely writing for a novel audience.
So like you would say
Yeah.
that the person that like writes this book, I'm not gonna remember these names, but the guy that's writing this
Yeah.
book would be like writing an anime series, and the guy that writes the other book that you guys are talking about that focuses on plot is making like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Timothy Zahn, he's quoted several times that the original trilogy has been like inspirations for his work. You could definitely tell. With
Oh, yeah.
the Thrawn trilogy.
Yes.
A lot of the elements. Yeah, he's a major fanboy. You can see that. And Drew, he's probably a fan too, but he writes it in a different style. He takes Star Wars. He's like, okay, I'm gonna do it my way.
On a side note, I think if we decide not to continue with the Bane trilogy right away when we finish this book, I think we should start with. I think we should do the episode 3 novelization. Hear me out on this. The guy who writes it, Matthew Stover, is notorious for being the biggest fucking nerd for Star Wars to the point that he would bother other writers in the middle of the night, calling them with a million ideas of what to do in his book. Like,
Really? Oh darn.
yeah, he's
Well-
like such a geek for it, and it comes out in his writing so much.
Well, I kind of feel like if we read just the episode 3 novelization, why not do the entire Dark Lord trilogy?
You know what? Let's do it because then we get to do James Luceno.
Well, it's like $10. It's like, what is it, $20 for the book on Amazon, $10 if you buy it digitally. It's not that bad, honestly. You know, so I would prefer getting that, you know, and like reading them all in order. That way, it's like one continuing thing.
I've read the last. Like to finish the Bane trilogy, just so that way we're in order of like at least I can finish this off.
Okay, yeah. Then we'll do the Bane trilogy first. Then we'll decide where we want to go from that. But once again, a Matthew Stover book, definitely something we should totally check out.
Yeah, I'd be totally down for that.
Because I would feel bad like starting this trilogy and just not finishing it.
Yeah. Well, when you finish the first book, you know, the urge to go on to the next comes from your own desire if you enjoy Bane enough as a character, which obviously you do. Because, once again, originally, the first Bane book wasn't supposed to be a part of a trilogy. Oh. It was just a standalone book. So you can read it. You can just read the first book, and you can be satisfied if that's how you want to do it.
Interesting. I guess we'll see when we get there.
Yeah. But once again, the other two books are of high quality. I wouldn't say they compare to the first book in the same way. They're definitely of lesser quality, but they're still very, very fucking competently written because it's the same author, and he's just fucking great.
Well, I've already gotten the second one, and the third one's supposed to be arriving any time now. I mean, even if we don't read them together, I'll probably be reading them all, honestly.
All right, well then, since you already have them, I already have them. Like, fuck it, let's do the trilogy before we do anything else.
I'm assuming there's more PDFs for me.
Well, you got a job, right, Ryan?
Dude, just buy
a book.
They're like $7, dude.
I can send you the emailing.
I don't get paid till the end of the season.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, there we go.
Do you not get jack shit when it comes to like at
the
all?
fucking end of the season.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because of whole COVID and budget fucking cuts.
Okay, how does that work though when it comes to just like paying for your house? Like, do you live in an apartment right now?
No, I live with my parents.
Oh, okay, then that
because I'm
works out.
still in college.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, same for me. I still live with my folks more or less.
See, once again, dude, you gotta get your waifu over fucking by her so you can actually split some fucking profits. Fucking important. Okay, where the fuck were we?
Yeah.
We got off.
We were talking about Lizard Man and Dreams and Father Just Death. Okay.
Yeah.
Now going from there, I guess a little bit before that, but like when he like abandoned the Sith scrolls and started focusing with the new masters, and then he went back to the Sith scrolls to find his like calling again. I felt that pretty interesting because it's like he's learning more or about the same from the old Sith lords as he would from the new ones.
Yeah.
Like, I
also, did you guys catch
was
the connection with the name of the book that he was reading? About the Rakatan Infinite Empire?
I don't think I did.
The Rakatan was a species that was really important to the events of KOTOR 1, specifically involving Darth Revan. Because the Rakatans were like the big empire that was in control of the galaxy before the humans were, and they were like enslaved by the Celestials before that. That's like 250,000 years in the past. Like, fucking Rakatans were big. They were thought to be extinct.
Oh my god.
But they made all of their technology, their hyperspace technology, their ships, all based off of entirely dark side technology. And Darth Revan specifically learned a good majority of his dark side knowledge from finding, like, a lost tribe of Rakatan people. So that's, like, super fucking, like, big in context of, like, the greater history of Star Wars, considering how important Revan was to Star Wars history.
Mm-hmm. I like how they do keep bringing up Revan, just because he is just that important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was completely earth-shattering when it comes to, like, the history of Star Wars. Like, if you were in the Star Wars universe, in, like, a class, everyone would learn about Revan. Like, just in general history. But yeah.
Well, I also like, how, the same author that wrote this also wrote the Darth Revan book, and I feel like that brings a lot of connectivity.
Oh yeah, it
Most
does.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. It's a good book. You should read that at some point.
What's it called? Leave
True
little
cartridge.
Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna find a shit ton of that as we read through the expanded universe. For instance, Rusan itself. First mention of Rusan was actually in the Jedi Knight games, and that's
Really?
also important because you go to Rusan in the second Jedi Knight game, and where you go in Rusan is the backstory of it is never explained until this book. This book is what gives the backstory to the Battle of Rusan that you get to learn about through the Valley of the Jedi and whatnot in that game. And I think that's just super fucking cool that he was able to make his own story and still fit that connection and give an explanation to that never happened in that game, which is fucking good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Connections like that is littered throughout the entirety of the EU, and it's fucking part of the reason why I just love it so fucking much, dude. Unfortunately, we don't get things like that at Disney Canton.
Alright, now, I will say one thing that I didn't like these chapters compared to the other chapters was the Force no longer felt like something that was controlling the universe. It was more of him just trying to control the Force.
Ah, that's really important. That's an important observation. That's one of the biggest things ever that's hotly debated within the universe of Star Wars is that should the universe is commanded by the Force is theory that a lot of people believe in. So that being said, letting the Force flow through you and letting the Force command your actions is the way to go. Or you could take the extreme side of the Sith philosophy and bend the Force to your will.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. I don't think that's something that directly gets mentioned in this book, but I know it does get brought up through fucking some minor points, but that is a question that gets tackled quite a bit throughout the EU.
Yeah. You could say the Jedi,
that
follow in the Force and let it guide them, and the Sith or dark side are wanting to control it or use it, command it. Yeah,
because you already have the scene where he says when he fights I think it was Lord Kopej who trains him in secret, was it? Yeah, Kopej, when he fights him, he mentioned you let the Force guide your actions and whatnot, that's a good thing. But obviously, when it comes to command of Force abilities outside of combat, I think the Sith philosophy goes that you are in command of the Force at that point. You let the Force flow through you so you can command it, not the other way around that the Jedi see it. For instance, Force lightning must be drawn out from the Force, which is mentioned, I think, in the Revenge of the Sith novel. Because that point that you just brought up, Skydog, is brought up in the Revenge of the Sith novel. The idea of bending the Force to your will and that being a perversion of it.
Mm-hmm.
Force lightning is brought about from bending the Force over to your will. Whereas something like a Force push is just manipulating it, just going with the flow, letting it flow through you. But that directly is brought up in the Darth Plagueis novel, which we will read at a certain point. That's a guarantee.
Well, that reminds me of a certain line that I really liked was Darth Bane's revelation. Was maybe passion is influenced by the Force. The Force is influenced by passion. The passion itself is, something driven by the Force. It was a really good line about that.
Oh yeah. Are you talking about whenever he comes to that realization that he could have unlimited power if he just had passion circle itself so many times?
Yeah.
And then he re-questions himself because why aren't they teaching this?
Mm-hmm. It's such good shit. One of my favorite parts about this book is how it actually demonstrates the Sith code through Bane's life. Because when you first read the Sith code, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool, that's whatever. Cool mantra. But one thing the book does really well is actually demonstrate how the Sith code is actually used by real Sith and how it's a real thing that they believe in, and here are the reasons why they believe in it, and they demonstrate that through Darth Bane's like actions. And what we just now learned was like the first part of it. Peace is alive. There is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. You know, he's using his emotions, his passion, and his fury to draw on the Force. And through how heightened he is on that high of emotion, he's able to better command it and like draw on it more intensely. Through passion, I gain strength. Mm-hmm. Peace is alive because peace requires serenity, and peace being the peace of the lie part, specifically being there's only peace from the Jedi Order, is a direct like comparison to that specifically. Because when the Jedi say, you know, there must be peace or some shit, they're talking about like silencing their emotions. So that's an indirect reference to the Jedi code. Peace is a lie because you need your passion and inner chaos to come out to command the Force. Yeah. And the Force is the one thing that's most important in the universe over all else, which is also something that's really reinstated when it comes to like the warfare, where you get the Sith Lords repeatedly saying, you know, the battles won't be won by you know, like fucking governors and shit and like ground battles, but instead command of the Force. That will be what determines the future. And that comes through in their code with the first part, peace is a lie, and then further command of it with the rest of it. Mm-hmm. Something that's done so fucking well in this book. I love it.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it finally time that we talk about Githany?
No, we gotta talk about Bane getting his shit kicked in.
Oh yeah.
I kind of forgot about that. Yeah. Yeah, I thought one thing I wanted to bring up to Lewis earlier when he was a soldier and he was like, yeah, it's talking about how fucking great he is. I really wanted to say, well, as soon as he gets to the academy, he ain't too great anymore.
Well, he is great up to a point, and then he gets his shit kicked in.
Yeah, then he just starts getting fucked.
he gets bent over and fucked hard.
Yeah, saddled up by fucking Sirach or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Sirach. Oh my gosh, I just like, oh god, like, well, for me, I was like, why did you challenge the strongest person? What do you think would happen?
Well, he challenged the strongest person because he knew that other people were gonna start challenging him because they were starting to realize that he was starting to get weak after.
Yeah,
and plus it was completely out of desperation. In his mind, he didn't think he could probably challenge anyone, really. Mm-hmm. So
he was like, might as well go for the top dog. And
yeah, like what's it gonna do if he just challenges some normal student, tries to work his way up? That's not gonna do shit. If anything, that's just another omission of, wow, he truly has fallen if he's going for these low-level people. Yeah. He has to like put everything in the pot or nothing.
Yeah.
He's literally gambling.
Yeah, it's a literal gamble.
It's honestly, literally the Kabat scene all over again, but he's the Republic soldier.
Yeah, he's the Republic soldier.
Oh my god, that's such a killer comparison, actually.
Well, it's a good comparison, you know, between the first part of him gambling and then trying to do this and gambling again, failing.
Yeah, that's a big brain comparison right there. That's worthy of a video essay quote.
Oh yeah, I have a question. I in the book they mentioned Bacta tanks, and I'm curious, when were they exactly invented? Have they always been around?
Oh yeah, they've always been a thing. Bacta technology has been a thing like for a really fucking long time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really old technology. I'm pretty sure even like fucking 3,000 years prior, during the events of Revan and whatnot, they still had like Bacta and shit.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But isn't it kind of expensive?
I'm not entirely certain, actually. I mean, it can't be too expensive considering it's like the most common medical technology.
True.
Well, if it becomes like so common, you know, it could just become less expensive as time goes on. You know, it's like the TV. You know, when it first came out, it was like, oh, very expensive. But now, since everybody's got one, you find one freaking, you know, $3. So.
See, here's the thing. When it comes to the X-Wing series, I only read like part of the first book, like half of it. It was really fucking good. But in the first quadrilogy of it, one of the books is literally called The Bacta War. So I wonder if that goes into more detail about not only what Bacta is, but like how important it is to the galaxy and like what it's priced at.
Wow. Okay. I might have to
literally call the Bacta War.
That one.
Yeah.
I might have to read that one. I do have the first X-Wing book, actually. I did
What
get
is that?
it.
Is that Wedge's Gamble or the Kirito's Trap? I can't.
No,
remember.
not. It's like, was it? Let me pull it up. Let me see. X-Wing. It's the first book in the series. One. No, let me pull up the image.
Also, that first quadrilogy actually directly is about like the siege of
Rogue
Coruscant for the New
Squadron.
Republic.
It's Rogue One. Well, not Rogue One. Rogue Squadron.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but also something important we should read once we get to the New Republic timeline, because the siege of Coruscant actually happens in those first 4 books.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. And also, its space battles are written really fucking well.
I like how it brought up the fact Revan was literally on the verge of destroying the Republic, but literally switched sides. I was like, oh
yeah,
we were this close to greatness.
Revan's a very complicated issue. yeah, that one. Yeah, it's a complicated issue because his switching sides were kind of done against his will.
Really?
Yeah. The Jedi did something super controversial, and it's treated as super controversial in the story itself, by the way. The Jedi are seen as extremely super controversial at this time. They actually wiped his mind.
Really?
And brought him up as a Jedi. Again, yeah. Because he was the big bad Sith Lord, but then his apprentice, Darth Malik, in another ship, decided to take down his ship and take his place. He was then picked up in a Hammerhead assault cruiser from the Republic, completely knocked out, and the Jedi decided to wipe his mind and bring him up as a Jedi, as he could be the most powerful asset against the Sith and the key to win the war. And obviously, that's what happened. Kind of. The Sith weren't really entirely destroyed, because even after he came back and stopped that initial wave of the Sith, they kind of reorganized as the Sith Triumvirate and bent over the galaxy once again before the Republic actually went back. That was one of the first, in recorded history, biggest downfalls of the Jedi Order. That was one of the first Order 66 moments. The Jedi Order was nearly entirely wiped out. It was up to just the Jedi Masters throughout the galaxy that were in hiding to come back and reignite shit. And it was all done through the Exile, which was Darth Revan's second in command during the Mandalorian Wars before he went to Sith. Which, his story is really long and really complicated and so fucking fascinating. I feel like I should just give you guys a lore dump on this eventually, because it is really important.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. But let's get back to the book.
Right. Well, I also oh shit, I was gonna say something. When it came to how a lot of the because you were talking about how the Sith was almost destroyed, and how a lot of their information is lost. I will say anyone that tries to destroy history is very sus in my eyes.
Oh, extremely
fucking sus.
But see, both the Jedi and the Sith do it multiple times through history.
So it's just there's so much you can. I mean, maybe that's just me wanting to one day being a history teacher, but
I totally get that. Nothing pisses me off. Yeah, I my dream job, if it wasn't teaching, is history. Nothing pisses me off more than learning about events in history in which it involved book burning and shit. The fucking Library of Alexandria genuinely stresses me out thinking about it. It makes me so fucking irate every time I think about it.
No, did you know the burning of that library set the human race back 500 years?
Yeah, dude. What the fuck? And just think of just all the lost knowledge and history of human achievement and what the culture was and all that, dude. Oh, and just the Middle East, the fact that every time the natives were in control of the Middle East, they had a golden age, but they kept getting conquered and set back 20,000 fucking years. Oh my god, that makes me so upset.
It's there were scrolls in there that literally talked about how the Earth was round, and they even figured out how big the Earth was, but information was fucking lost because someone burned it down.
we would have had so much information on such obscure things too. Even like fucking Atlantis, dude. A treasure trove of things about Atlantis would have been in there. Regardless of if it's real or not, we would have gotten to see the contradictions there. Like, oh my god. Because, like, we only have 2 sources of it, and one depicts it as heaven, so clearly it never existed, but it was in the, like, it was highly impacted into the culture at the time. I just would have loved to see, like, what the common populace, like, thought of that place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looks like I better get off.
No, you want to give your last 2 cents before you go.
We'll let you talk about the last battle.
Yeah, since you're about to leave, and then me and Coconut will go back over through it later.
Okay. I like the last part. I like the rain. It was so cool, it just was so emotional. And I just liked how he hid power the whole time, drawing him out, and he had patience, and I liked that. I liked how he was cold and calculated during it. It was so cool,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Also, Githany is best girl. Changed my mind.
She's a Sith.
I'm just a crowd around this. No, but seriously, I like Githany, and I like that line, the old Corellian saying, "Don't turn your back on a woman."
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. I thought that was so funny. I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty relatable. But
Sounds
anyway,
like they need that old Corellian ale, hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. No. What's that old Corellian thing? Okay. Yeah. Wait. Did we tell you about that, Ryan?
I don't
think so.
Okay. In the beginning of the Thrawn trilogy, Luke Skywalker is drinking hot chocolate. He talks how Lando taught him it was an old trader's secret, hot chocolate.
Yeah, it's fucking.
It just exists in the Star Wars universe. I'm like, okay, that's so corny. I just like it. Just keep it in.
It's just so funny to imagine to imagine Luke drinking it and going, hot chocolate. This is.
Such interesting liquid. Okay.
Makes my tummy go wee.
Okay, what chapter are we going to be reading to next
book? Oh yeah, I guess we should tell them that.
Oh yeah,
we're
shit, you're right.
Fucking 19.
Okay, well,
the start.
We're on 19.
Okay, we made it to 19. There it is. When does part 3 start, or whatever?
20.
Oh man, that's really short. The 21 is the beginning of part 3.
Yeah.
Well,
we could just read to the end at this point.
Wait, what? No.
Should we?
No.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, it was already a lot to remember.
Yeah,
want to go to 25?
A bit between these passages.
That's like 6 chapters. You want to just go to 25?
I'm cool.
Or do you want to do 7 chapters? What do you think, Skydog?
25.
25?
Yeah, 25.
Right,
and
25
if for some reason there's a cliffhanger, we'll go one more chapter.
Oh, well, that's getting close to the end of the book, so you bet your fucking ass it's going to be a cliffhanger.
Okay, well, if you read a chapter ahead or so, just message
let us know.
me.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah. Let me know.
I honestly couldn't end with where chapter 18 ended. I mean, not ended,
that's
where
right.
chapter 17 ended.
Sirach! I challenge you!
I challenge you!
I was like, no, I'm reading this.
I made sure it was raining for Dramatos.
It would have been funnier if he was like, Sirach, I kissed Githany!
Wait, but there is no love triangle.
It's like the fucking scene from Anchorman. Have you guys seen Anchorman?
Yes.
Yeah, I kissed Veronica and it was amazing. I just imagine Darth Bane gets on top of the building in the middle of the rain, calls everyone out, and he's like, I kissed Githany!
Okay.
25.
I better have been moves, but 25. Okay, I'll remember that. I'll see you guys later. Great book club. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
So I'm assuming because you're saying that we're close to the end, that's not a lot of chapters, or it's just going by so fast because I'm enjoying it so much?
It's going by so fast because you're enjoying it so much. This is a pretty average, sized book.
Interesting.
Actually, how many pages is this exactly? Let me check. It goes 389 pages total. It's just the book is just fucking good.
What page are we on then?
Was that what was this? That's 18. Chapter 19 is almost there. Hold on. Chapter 19 is 234.
Holy shit.
Right?
I didn't even think I read that much.
Yeah. It's fucking good, dude. It's so good.
It doesn't feel like that many pages.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it does.
Doesn't it feel like you still like just started the book?
Yeah. Like I just remember reading like the beginning of the book like it was just like not too long ago.
Right? It's paced so well, dude. It's such a fast-paced book.
Now I guess back to like the deleting of history. I just wanted to bring up the fucking Chinese dynasties that kept deleting each other's history.
Oh, fuck that shit, dude.
That pisses me off so much.
All of the writings we could have had when it comes to Chinese people thinking about Rome. Very specifically, their relationship together, we have nothing on. But we know that they knew of each other, and that's it.
It's just
like these two mega fucking societies over here just having no interaction because it's not fucking documented because they kept fucking it up.
It pissed me off that like each emperor of China wanted to be like the first in the beginning. I'm just like, honestly, fuck off.
Yeah, it's because they were so fucking insane about goddamn family dynasties. And also for the fact that, oh, I'm divine, by the way. It's like, fuck you.
You're not special.
Yeah. I know you poop, Kim Jong-un.
Right,
oh, yeah, that pisses me off so much.
Let's see, where were we? Back on the book.
So, back on Githany. We need to finish Githany. So, let's, he was all depressed, suffering from the dreams. Let's talk about the initial... We got to the initial interaction when he was reading his book.
Wait, I think we were still talking about him getting his, like, face kicked in.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We never even finished talking
about it. Yeah, we never even finished talking about it. But, like, Noah's bringing up the fact that, like, he chose to, like, put all his marbles in, and then I brought up the, analogy of being the Republic Trooper in this case.
It's fucking great.
I just honestly just now thought about that whenever we were, like, talking about it. I was like, this is honestly just the Republic Trooper turned around. Yeah. And then it's gonna happen to the, I'm bad with names, but the really good student. What's his fucking name? But, like, it's literally, he becomes the Republic Trooper later.
Yeah.
But not as, like, I won't lie,
Let's just try to fit every fucking, like, thing of this book into the Republic Trooper.
Yeah, that's gonna be the running theme for the next books too.
Who's the Republic Trooper? We'll do that in every book. Later down the line, we get to New Jedi Order and using Vong is like, oh, Luke Skywalker is the Republic Trooper.
That one unlucky trooper, that's gonna be the running theme of this series.
It's fucking great.
We're not even gonna remember his name. He's just gonna be the Republic Trooper.
The Republic Trooper. Alright, let's get back to it.
Okay,
gets his shit kicked in.
Yeah, he gets his shit kicked in and like literally gets fucking blacked out.
Yeah.
Which
fucking his bones get broken and shit.
Which I'm surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm also surprised at the fact that the Blade Master like stepped in. Like, I don't know. I just.
Well, I think it's we gotta remember the Blade Master is Kopej, and he sees potential in him. Like, I think he is giving him just free pass after free pass. Obviously, when he killed the student, he let him go. But when he's on the line, he's like, no. And that's definitely doubled down when Githany is like, I sense immense power in you, but you just don't use it. So I feel like after that point, I thought back to when he decided to step in. Because initially, I had this impression. I was like, it's kind of weird that he stepped in, honestly, after rejecting him. But then after with the confirmation with Githany sensing the immense power in him, there's no doubt that Kopej also senses that in him. True. So I feel like that may be the catalyst as to why he stepped in.
But yeah, he's stuck in the bacta tank for a while, and then like Gethany is finally introduced again, and like they just draw out the fact that she just is some beautiful human being.
Yeah.
I'm just like, please, just can I get back to Bane or like to them?
I get it. She's hot. Okay.
It's like I understand. Everyone fucking thinks she's hot. Okay. Like sure, I guess you can base your waifu preference on looks, but I mean, I'm personality.
I'm kind of scared to see what she looks like in the comics. I feel like that she's gonna be really fucking ugly.
It's like
it's just
all this is
comic
up to
art,
your
man.
imagination. So like you imagine her really beautiful, but is she really beautiful to us?
She's beautiful to me because she's all in my head.
Yes, there you go. But okay,
Alright.
she's reintroduced, and okay, so I do enjoy the fact that she does find him like this guy is very potential, and I can manipulate him to be like my person to kill this top student guy. Because even she's thinking, oh, this top student guy is like too much for even me. And I do enjoy like those small banters where she does eventually bring up like her life in the Jedi Temple, so we do get like the viewpoint of like the Jedi, so they're not like completely left out. So I thought that was a nice touch. I did enjoy the fact, like the part where like Bane discovers like Force lightning.
Oh
like,
yeah,
the fact that he was being
Githany's like, what the fuck? Why is he better than me?
and the fact that like he was like being eaten, like he was losing control of like because of all that energy.
Yeah.
Because it is said that whenever like a Sith user uses lightning, it's like a high. So that was a nice little Easter egg that I picked
that was
up on.
super fucking cool. I appreciate that the novel actually, like, because Darth Bane, from like very clearly is like feeding into her at the very beginning, and you're just kind of like waiting for like when is Darth Bane gonna actually do something. So I appreciate that it was immediately juxtaposed with him going to like get secretly trained, because honestly, I feel like you are already expecting like he's definitely gonna get trained again at some point. Like you didn't know how, but if you did put thought into it, a secret training thing probably is the most likely thing. But I appreciate that they did it in juxtaposition to Githany using him, so they use that as like his response.
Like not only was he being used, but he most likely knew he was being used, and he was still trying to like go ahead and get another upper hand just in case.
Yeah. And once again, I like that the book explained that he is getting an upper hand on both Kopej and Githany by like them not knowing that he's being trained secretly by both, which I thought was really fucking cool.
And I even enjoyed the fact that she even started to doubt herself when she noticed how strong he was getting. Like, is there something I'm missing in these ancient texts? Because she's getting all this training from the current masters, but here he is like literally outdoing her in anything she teaches him.
Also, just to compliment the writing style again, when Githany is kind of like introduced and they start like talking, how it seamlessly, while still being in third person, switches perspectives between Githany and Bane, and like have one scene lead into the other, like I thought was so well done. Like you just immediately like fucking it just clicked. It's like, oh, it's from Githany's perspective now, and I just thought like that's something that's really fucking hard to do. And like most fucking writers who really struggle with. I think prime example in Star Wars is Dawn of the Jedi, which is a terrible, terrible fucking like writing style abortion that I despise because of that. Because it tries to do the whole, it like fucking goes back in time and then goes forward in time type thing. But it just doesn't know how to like actually tell you it went back in time. So you'll be reading and you're like, wait a minute. Did she just go to a new location, or is this back in time? Because like every time it would switch, she was getting ready to like go to a new location, and there would be no signal that's like it's a time skip. It was terrible, absolutely fucking terrible. Like, I hate it.
I don't doubt it, because like like even that one time skip, because even Lewis brought it up, like time skips can be a little jarring, especially if you don't have like any visual hint.
God, I would really like to have a book on that Kashyyyk massacre. I think that'd be fucking cool.
It'd be kind of like a short book, though.
I don't think so, because I think they could like have it. They could do it in the style of how they did this first Darth Bane book. They could like you've seen Starship Troopers, right?
Yeah.
They could literally have a Starship Troopers style story, but for Bane.
True,
like
true.
you get to like kind of like see him actually get inducted and his struggles adjusting to a Sith like fucking war machine.
It did, but
then,
it made it sound like at the beginning of the book that he didn't struggle too much.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right, but I guess you could have him struggle like politically though, because like even
But
like
he,
in
even
the actual war
politically,
machine is still rigid.
like
Yeah, you're right. He's just too competent of a soldier.
yeah.
Shit, he's too OP. You really would have to center around Kashyyyk itself and the characters surrounding him. But
Yeah.
I think that kind of book would be great because some of the characters you meet in that like wartime come up in the later book.
Interesting.
So I think that honestly would serve to help if you were to have it more focused on his character interactions. And plus, it would serve as a great humanizing thing for him because eventually, as the books go on, he goes so far into Sith ideology that he's almost unrecognizable in this book. But that being said, the transition is near flawless. Like it just, it works
like,
really well.
I'm assuming it's because like you understand his reasonings for doing so.
You completely understand why he's like gone into that mindset. Yeah,
It's like Lewis was talking about earlier. It was like how he was worried that this would be a character you would hate just because he's on the dark side.
Yeah,
But you completely understand why he's thinking the way he's thinking, and you can even like if you were in his shoes, you'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Just so fucking
this book
well done.
isn't trying to bullshit you. It's literally telling you as is and why he's doing the things he's doing.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell, you can honestly tell that this writer genuinely had a passion to create a character rather than create a plot and insert what needs to happen in there just to get the plot going.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, it's so well done. And it's especially surprising considering the story of Darth Bane is originally pitched and ideaed up from George Lucas. Like, it's all George Lucas's idea, the story of Darth Bane. So it's honestly surprising that it came out so fucking good. Like, this guy has such an appreciation for Star Wars, and it just bleeds through. Like,
it's a shame that Darth Bane isn't really talked about outside of... Like, Darth Revan is pretty famous, but you normally don't hear a lot about Darth Bane outside of... Like,
yeah,
this
he's
book.
important, but I guess it's kind of warranted that he isn't talked about too much, considering the circumstances of the creation of the Rule of Two, and the fact that the Sith went into, like, secret.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, obviously the Jedi, when they came back, they were like, what the fuck, there's a Sith Lord? What's going on? I thought they were extinct, type thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of understandable, but you do definitely wish that, like, since this is such rich history, that it would be coming up more.
Yeah, just the fact that, like, he almost feels forgotten outside of these books.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Darth Revan, he's literally so integral to the history. But when it comes to Darth Bane, you're just like, wait, who's this again? And then you're like, you talk about the World Tour, and you're like, oh, he did that thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. That's all you hear about him is he started the World 2. You don't really hear of how powerful he is.
Yeah, and his, like,
Darth
struggle,
Revan.
too, is so fucking good. It's a shame, too, because I feel like if he was, like, reverberated through history more people would actually read this, like, trilogy, too, because it's so good. And also, something interesting, and I think it kind of puts into perspective of, like, how the book is written, is that this book, when it came out, was seen as, like, a prequel to the prequel trilogy.
Interesting.
It was used as a way to kind of, like, explain the things about the Force that weren't really into detail from the Sith perspective and whatnot. And also something that you'll get later on is that, you know what? I don't want to spoil
It'd be a
that.
weird prequel to the prequel because, like, you'd come from this, like, sympathizing with a Dark Lord, and then go into the prequels being on the good guy side.
I think by the end of the story, you'll start to realize where that comparison kind of comes from. It definitely does flesh itself out a little more, and especially if you see the prequels less as Anakin's story and more as Palpatine's manipulations and machinations of the Sith Grand Plan, it definitely, like, it works really well. As of right now, it's, like, just Bane's story exclusively. hasn't quite opened up and like gone insane yet. But once it does, I think you'll be drawing comparisons to how the prequels ended up the way they did. Like once it starts happening.
Interesting.
Because the ball hasn't even started rolling yet, boy.
but it feels like it fucking has.
Right? It does. It feels like you're in the thick of it, but it hasn't even exploded yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just, oh god, I just can't wait to get into this book more.
No, like yesterday when I want to talk about this book, I was like so fucking stoked. I was like, I need to talk about this now.
It's like, okay, here's the thing. I'm not sure if I'm willing to wait another full week. You know?
You're gonna have... wait, no, spring break.
I'm just saying, if there's ever a day that's like open for you specifically where you can do it, I feel like this would be the time, since it's only 6 chapters this time around, as opposed to like the 10 million we just did.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'd be willing to like read it all in like a day or two.
I mean, I got spring break coming up, like literally next week.
Oh, okay.
But it's only for like one of my schools.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think about it.
Okay, cool. So I'm still planning for Wednesday. It's just,
I don't want to like accidentally finish the book and then tell them the day before the meeting, hey, you need to finish the book.
Yeah, honestly, that's like the one thing I'm scared for, because, you know, you do wait last second for it. So I'm scared that you're going to, a day before, you're like, oh, I just read 5 chapters ahead.
If I read too far, like, if I read one day and then, like, we talk about it 5 days later, I feel like I'm going to forget most of the shit.
Because I feel like I'm a lot like you when it comes to reading books. Like, I don't actually want to get up and start reading, but once I do start reading, I'm hooked.
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah, it's like I will never have an urge to read until I'm, like, sat down and I feel forced to read. But then I'm like, I don't want to stop.
Like, literally, like, yesterday when I was literally reading, like, an hour before we were about to have our meeting.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. Like, I was like, okay. But I would have read the day before that, but I literally was projectile vomiting the day before. So
that's fair. Yeah. That's a good, I'd say that's a good excuse.
Yeah, I was like hoping you wouldn't notice I was literally reading the book an hour before we were supposed to start the meeting. Because literally the day before I felt like shit because I was literally projectile vomiting. Mm-hmm. And I've never projectile vomited before.
Oh man, what's that like? I've never had that happen.
Like, there's
really just shoots?
It really does shoot, and it's weird.
Oh shit, that's gotta be so bizarre.
It was bizarre because I was like, what the fuck?
Is it like, okay, that's gotta be weird, because like when you normally throw up, it's like all gut, pretty much. Like it's all gut and just a little bit of throat. Like, is it more than that? Like when it comes to like feeling it push?
Like, it feels like there's so much fucking pressure forcing it out. And then like, it's not like just the gut stuff, is like more liquidy too.
Weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
Like I was like vomiting up liquids instead of the gut stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that might have done it too, is just the fact that it was all liquid coming out too.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's freaky deaky.
But I felt like shit that day. I was like, I'm not gonna be able to read today, so I have to read tomorrow after work. And squeeze it into that 3 hours I have before our meeting.
Yeah.
I was even going to try and get home earlier to like read the book, but no, I got caught up in work again. Because like I ended practice early with my boys, but because one of the girls' coaches was gone, I had to go help out her.
Yeah. Fucking Sundays are my best time for reading because I work the morning shift, but I go in with my girlfriend and she works like an hour or two before me in the morning. So I'll just like sit in her car and like read or put on an audiobook. That's where I'll get most of my fucking time.
Yeah, I was honestly gonna feel bad about like, I was gonna ask if we could like postpone the reading to like another day, which that happened anyway. But because of the fact that I lost that day to projectile vomiting, I just felt so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I fucking postpone it regardless for Lewis, so we could at least get a little bit on there. But who knew that he gets such bad opinions?
I was wishing he'd go a little more in depth too.
Yeah,
It felt like he was only
strange.
scratching, but that's only because he was probably only like half listening to it, so he wasn't
Yeah,
able
that
to.
sucks. It's so disappointing. Like, you could tell he wasn't entirely involved in it.
Yeah.
Like, it,
It's still
like,
good to have like other opinions, but I felt like he was only scratching the surface.
yeah, it sucks, dude. Especially like once again, like just his weird criticism of the first like fight scene and everything that meant for the story was just so bizarre.
Like, I'll agree, like the first fight scene isn't the greatest fight scene, but like it's
not
still
like
got
a
its
fucking
reason.
masterpiece of cinematography, but goddamn, as like a fucking hook, line, and sinker to get you in the story, like what's more effective in the way they seamlessly put exposition and fight and tension together in that one scene?
Like, I agree, it's not like a huge hook. Like, definitely the what is it? The card game with the Republic Trooper is like the hook.
Oh yeah, it blows it out the water. It's 10 times like more entertaining, but just because it's more entertaining doesn't mean the other one is void. Like I
Yeah,
really
it's not
honestly
void.
got the impression that like just because it like the other part of the book was more gripping for him, he just like, okay, I guess I just didn't enjoy the other book. I guess this is why off the top of my head I didn't enjoy it. It seemed like he was more so just trying to defend something he didn't even really think about. Like it's weird. It's strange. How could you take that stance on that first scene? Man bites a thumb off, and you say it's boring?
Okay, now we need to jump back to where we were in the book before we talked about projectile vomiting.
Yeah.
Where were we? Fuck.
I don't remember at all, actually. Okay, so Githany talk. We're still on Githany?
Yeah, we're still on Githany, and then him also doing the training in the background with the Blade Master.
Yeah. I think we skipped over a little bit with Githany, but we honestly kind of jumped around to it a couple times.
I feel like this part with the Blade Master and Githany just kind of merged together.
Yeah, they're pretty integral to each other. Honestly, I think we can move on. Like,
yeah, if I think of anything, we'll just come back to it.
Yeah.
But like I enjoy like the arguments that Bane and Githany would also have too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you felt like this is how she truly believed.
Mm-hmm. It's just really well done.
My favorite line in these chapters is, "When you finally betray me, I hope you have the guts to kill me." That shot a shiver down my... I read that line a few more times because I just thought it was so fucking good.
Right.
It's like, when you finally betray me, I hope you have the guts to kill me. I'm just like, yes.
So fucking good, yeah.
I was like, that's got to be one of the best lines in this book.
There we go. Confirmed waifu material right there.
Wait, no, but that's Bane that said that.
It is the waifu, duh. Who cares about Githany? I want this muscle fucking tumor.
But I just was like, my jaw fucking dropped when I read that. I was like, that's so good.
It's so fucking good, dude.
And you can even feel like Bane's jealousy when she was talking about this other guy she had feelings for. Also, like the fact that he brought up the fact, like, if you were willing to just leave him like that, were your feelings for him really that strong?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty nice. Neato.
Yeah, it's so good.
But like, there are...
after fucking trying to remember what directly, because that like led into the... No, it didn't. Trying to remember. There's like, is it what you envisage? Does the academy live up to your expectations?
Oh yeah, I remember that line. And she's like, most things don't.
Yeah, I thought that was nice. I think Cordis is weird to read. I think that's just a really weird looking word, Cordis.
Mm-hmm.
A weird working name.
I'm just gonna be honest, I'm bad with names, so...
Yeah, I got, honestly, all of my pronunciations from the audiobook. Like, when I was reading this for the first time, like, what the fuck is Kopej? How do you say that? Like, I literally had no clue how to say it when I read the book at
when
all.
it was like naming off the Sith Lord like masters, I literally just skipped over their names. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah,
even gonna
it's
fucking
like
try.
I literally couldn't at all envision how they sound, so I just would fucking read right past it.
Yeah.
So, but now I know. Cordis, Kopej. Yeah, that's really the two
It's
big
like
ones.
I'm not
right
even
there.
gonna remember like the Blade Master's name. I'm just gonna know him as the Blade Master. I'm not gonna remember the
Yeah.
the really talented student's name. I'm just
Twi'lek.
gonna know him as the really talented student.
You got the sickly yellow guy. Yeah, you got the female who looks really good.
Exactly. I honestly didn't even like keep trying to bother with her name. I was just like, yeah, this is. It's just like just the beautiful lady.
Chapter 18. I'm gonna scan over that real quick. Missed the morning practice session. Oh no. Oh no. Lord Kopej. Long-time rival. Yada yada yada. Yeah. But yeah, that fucking. You know what? Let's just go right to the big boy. That fight.
Okay, before we go to the big fight, I want to bring up his fight with the Blade Master, like literally before the fight with the main guy. Like,
Yeah.
when he was fighting the Blade Master, that fight felt more intense and entertaining, like fight-wise, compared to his fight with the really talented student.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I agree with
I
that.
I could feel the intenseness and energy in that fight compared to the second fight.
Oh yeah. It's just built up so well. Like all of this training and like the drama that was going on from him and the students and the tension that was being created of him doing everything in secrecy and everything being against him, and then like seeing him like with right before the final battle, like with fucking the battle master, the only guy who's like had his side somewhat. Like it's just built up so fucking well.
Like because you could feel the Blade Master wasn't holding back. Like the Blade Master was enjoying this fight, and I too was enjoying this fight because these are two really talented people fighting.
Like it just feels so good to see Bane at this point, because like oddly enough, the book starts off with him being super fucking mega powerful, but then once he gets to the academy, he just gets totally shit on. So it just feels good to finally see him back. I think part of the reason why it feels so good is the fact that we got a taste of what a super powerful Bane is like, and then it just immediately gets stripped away. So it's literally jacking us off and then finishing before we finish. Like, I think that's probably why his like rise into power feels so good. Because honestly, I feel like I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking to Lewis. It's like, yeah, it's a little kind of disappointing that he starts off so powerful, but now with the added context of like, how he rises in the academy, I feel like if he didn't start off like good at what he does, if he started off a weakling and just grew in power, it probably wouldn't be as gripping. It would probably play out as more of a just, oh, he's getting better and better. That's cool. Oh, look at that. He's better than how he was now, Like, we know his potential. I think the book tried to highlight, like, what the Sith saw in him through his actions in other areas. Like, the Sith can just sense that he's a fucking uber powerful guy, but we're just reading what he does. So if we read the facts that he's, like, super fucking competent and really focused and was at the top of his line at one point, and then he fell, we know, oh my god. That was, like, fucking, he was already top tier at that time. Now he's just gone. It just adds more. I just think the framing of powerful shit build up to powerful then, I think is like, probably couldn't have done it any better.
Indeed. But like, just the Blade Master fight was just so much more. Because like, I almost felt like disappointed in the second fight after like reading the fight with the Blade Master. It honestly felt disappointing. Like, it was still a good fight, narrative-wise, because it talked about how, like, Darth Bane was holding so much back. But it's just, like, fight-wise, it just didn't feel as good.
I think, honestly, it was the ending that really did it to me. The fact that Syrax just so fucking easily went, oh, I'm sorry, you are my master now. Like, I think that's what really, like, fucking kind of killed it.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, really felt like. Wait, did that happen in the next chapter? Or?
Well, I'm not completely sure if I'm on the same page as you on that one.
Okay. Because I don't remember exactly if that part was established, like, right away, but I think the fight will be robbed a little more if you haven't gotten to that point.
Yeah. But, like, his conversation with the Blade Master afterwards was also kind of nice because, like, he, like, quote-unquote surrendered the fight because he knew he wasn't going to win and he didn't want to, like, get cut. And then, like, he brought up, like, a Darth Revan quote, and the Master had no idea what the quote was.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty interesting because it's still bringing up the disconnect between the modern Sith and the ancient Sith.
Oh, boy.
And
it's
I like how it keeps hammering it up because it brings it up later in the next chapter.
Yeah.
But
see, fucking good shit, dude. It's literally about to blow up, dude. Literally on the teetering point. Like, the Archduke is about to get assassinated right now. Like, he's about to enter his teenage angst phase, his rebellious phase. Like, it's gonna be so fucking... I'm so excited to fucking read more.
And I love how Darth Bane is asking questions that we would ask too. Like, why do the Sith no longer follow the ways of the ancient Sith? Or no longer use the name Darth anymore? And like the Sith Master tries to explain it but you still feel dissatisfied in the answer he gives. Just like how Darth Bane feels dissatisfied in the answer.
But I think it's also super cool that within the context of the Brotherhood of Darkness, you totally expect them to give that answer as well to, like, protect the Brotherhood of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's like when you're speaking to someone who's, like, super fucking right-wing or super fucking left-wing, and you just kind of expect them to give certain answers when you ask them certain questions, because it's about, like, their fucking integrity rather than actually getting down to it.
Yeah.
It's literally just like that for the Sith Lords of the Brotherhood of Darkness who support it. And it's, like, so cool to see that happen. You know, when he digs deeper and asks those more complicated questions and they just, like, give a textbook answer.
Mm-hmm. And you can
it's
tell
like, God
that
damn it,
the Blade Master doesn't have all the answers either.
Oh, yeah.
Or you even kind of feel like the Blade Master doesn't completely agree with it.
It's something that's done super fucking well. You get more impressions of that as time goes on that I don't want to spoil for you.
Yeah, please don't.
Oh, I won't. It's good.
But now jumping, I guess this is the part where, let's see, Kerr and Bane get into an argument because he literally says he's literally going to challenge.
Oh my god, time fucking flies. When I last looked at the clock, it was like 1:11.
Yeah, kind of, especially when we're talking about such a good book too.
Yeah, dude.
And we're like
book
so
flies
intrigued
by.
in it.
Conversation flies by. God, I wasn't kidding when I told him from 15 minutes to 3 hours.
Yes. Well, I mean, our first meeting was only an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But,
okay, continue.
I feel like this would be a lot longer if, like, Noah was here too, so.
Yeah.
But even with just us two, it's a long conversation too, because we're so in depth with it.
Yeah.
Like there's me who wants to like go through the book, like when we have these conversations, like point by point, and then there's Noah that wants to jump straight to the climax. And it's like no, slow down. Because I just want.
Like, I like the flashy lights.
But like legit, like I want to surgically open this book up and just talk about like everything possible. Because I just want to like analyze everything.
And it's so enjoyable from my perspective because I never like fucking when it comes to Star Wars, I never had like a point in my life where like I've seen Star Wars for the first time or I discovered something from the EU for the first time because it's just always been a part of my life. I never had like a single fucking realization of it. So it's so cool to see from your perspective. Obviously, you fucking know like more about Star Wars than the average person.
I do. Like even like just only watching the movies plus the Clone Wars. I'd always watch like lore videos on YouTube, so I would have like more than the average person's knowledge of Star Wars. But like this is my first time actually reading an EU book because I knew about Darth Revan and all that, but I never dove into Darth Bane.
Yeah, it's just so nice to see someone's completely fresh perspective, like on these super well written novels, asking like the questions that are actually brought up in the novels.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Like, even like during our first meeting, you were enjoying the fact that I wanted to talk about the Force.
oh my god, yeah, it was so fucking cool because these deeper questions of the Force, like, are somewhat they're like neglected in the movies to the point that like they can be seen as like issues with the Force itself in storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But like these books like bring up those questions directly, and they not only like answer them but give like differing opinions on them like in universe.
Yeah.
And that's something that's so fascinating to see someone like you who's just like starting on an EU journey actually seeing these things brought up outside of just nerds debating about it, so you can actually see the source material bring it up.
Yeah, like even like the lore videos I'd watch that would like give me more information over stuff. It would never like dive deep into like these deeper questions. It would just
Yeah.
like summarize something I wanted to know, you know?
Mm-hmm. And plus, once again, it's just nice to have sources other than the movies, because the movies are they have like 2 hours to get their shit done. Like they don't have the amount of time that a book can delve into abstract concepts and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so nice to have someone like you reading these fucking books, man. At first, I thought I had that with Rem, but you know how he can get with his somewhat smooth brain.
Just jumping straight to each climax.
Yep.
So like, I feel like maybe we could have even more conversations with Lewis if he was actually like trying to get into the book a little more.
Out, dude.
Because literally, like, he was literally like listening to the book while playing Men at War Assault Squad 2.
You
I'm
can
just
do
like-
that, but it's so clear that he just wasn't like involved in it.
Like he knew what was going on, but he wasn't getting all the details.
Yeah, but he had the approximation of a lore video type of knowing what's going on. Like, it's so disappointing, dude. So disappointing.
Like he's clearly listening, but like he's not getting everything he could out of it.
And it was also kind of disappointing to hear him go, "Oh yeah, well I already know of this, so like it was kind of boring." It's like, "Yeah, but like why don't you talk about how the story itself folded it into knowing?" Like, there's more than just you knowing the information. Are you absorbing this just like a textbook for school? Like, I'm so lost.
I mean, yeah, like this isn't like some textbook. Like, I mean, you could think of it as some textbook. It just feels more entertaining than like some history textbook.
Like, I get the impression that maybe it's. I hope it changes, but I get the impression that he's really just not completely uninterested to the point that he's only listening it for us and just is fucking memorizing it for us just to spill.
Yeah, that's
Like,
possible.
that's what I'm deathly afraid of, because that's just gonna kill conversation.
Because he's definitely gonna get bored when we have conversations like this.
Yeah, man. It's gonna suck, because he's capable of actual fucking interesting thought. Just why don't you use it with books? Perfectly fine with
like, when it
going
comes
into
to
detail when you fucking talk to Sheldon. Why can't you do it with Darth Bane?
Like, when it comes to Noah, he's like more focused on like the exciting parts.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, we need to know about the exciting parts, and he definitely helps remind me of like certain parts that like I might have like overlooked.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely like he definitely helps in the conversations.
Yeah.
But there's me who wants to go like bit by bit and like surgically discuss each
That's
part.
what I fucking kill for, dude. That's what I kill for.
It's like
Fucking love that
I
shit.
kind of feel bad when like we're like talking about something at the beginning of like our reading, and then Noah's like, let's talk about like the very ending fight. I'm thinking to myself, the very ending fight wasn't even that, like, compared to the
Yeah,
Blade Master
there's-
fight, it just didn't feel as good,
Yeah.
but it still had its like good part.
Yeah, it is a shame because I do kind of feel a little bad because he definitely does get a little Not lost. That's not at all. I was about to say a little lost,
He
but
gets
left
a little
out. There you go. Left out.
Too
Because
excited.
me and you will be talking about some like extremely minor detail on how a character said a certain thing in a certain way and how that relates to something in the past.
Uh-huh. And then he's
And
just
he'll
like,
just be sitting there silent. Maybe he goes, "Oh yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too." Maybe one day we'll get him thinking a little deeper. As narcissistic as that sounds.
no, I think the
God,
ability
some
really
fucking
is there.
asshole.
I just feel like he gets. We are definitely being really mean. But I feel like he just gets
It's
too
so
caught up in the exciting part. That's just.
Yeah. Which is fine though. I mean, if that's the way you think, like,
Yeah. I mean, if
fucking
he's
all
enjoying the
power to
book,
you,
I mean,
man.
I can't blame him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really happy that he's actually thoroughly enjoying it though. He very clearly is.
Hmm.
Like fucking, I got him to read the entirety of the Thrawn trilogy and he really liked it. So I think he's already completely hooked. Like just on Star Wars in general now.
I just think overall, I wish we had more people to have these discussions with.
Yeah.
I also feel like the more people were brought in, like the less chances I would have to talk.
Yeah. That's fair. I want you out of the conversation as much as possible, so I appreciate that.
Get Lewison to replace me. I'm only here for the recordings anymore.
Fuck you, Janot.
And I was a little disappointed when John said, "Oh, I read it back in 10th grade." I'm just like, oof, okay.
I didn't think it was that long ago. I remember when he fucking picked it up, dude. Like, way... I didn't think it was that long ago. Holy
I was
shit.
hoping he would at least spill, like, what his initial thoughts were.
Yeah, see, I tried to get him to read it back then, and he got it, and it's just the typical John speak of just, oh yeah, I started reading it, and I thought it was boring, so I stopped reading it.
I mean,
And then he
for some
mentioned-
people, books aren't their thing.
Yeah, I understand that, and it's just so disappointing. I
I
don't
mean-
really think books will ever be a thing for John.
If
but-
you guys didn't force this book down my throat, I probably would have never read it.
Yeah.
You guys were literally hardcore, like, shoving it down my throat. Like, it wasn't until the PDF popped up that I was like, okay, fine, I'll read it. Because
Yeah.
it's literally
It's
free
a
now.
good book, man. It's a good fucking book. I
I'm not
want someone to
disagreeing.
share my
I'm just
obsession for the
not
Star
the
Wars
type of person
EU.
that likes reading. Unless, like... Because even when it comes to this book, I thoroughly enjoy it. But once I stop reading, it's
It's
hard to
just
get
you have
back
no
into
more
unless
energy,
I'm forced.
Yeah, I fucking know that feeling, dude.
Like, I
It's
had to
the
force
same
myself to
with me.
stop reading, and now I gotta force myself to read it again later.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing with me. I've been moving through the Star Wars EU so slowly because of that.
Like, this
It's-
book club would probably help a lot. Just the fact that
Yeah.
it's forcing me to keep up.
Yeah, honestly, that's the whole reason I even kind of started it in the first place, was just so I would read more consistently. Because, like, it's not like that I, like, feel an urge, like, oh, I just have to read. It's just, I actually want to read these books, but I never want to actually read itself. But when I do start reading them, it's always so fucking gripping. So it's like this fucking dilemma. It's like, oh my god, I clearly enjoy reading these things so fucking much, but I hate actually starting to open a book so fucking much.
I will say,
Like-
starting me with this book is a little bit of like a double-edged sword. Because if we do get into like a more boring book that I'm just not more
Yeah, I'm
interested
really
in,
afraid about that. Yeah.
like you're gonna have to now like watch your titles.
This book is too good. Like,
Indeed. Because if the
I
book
think,
doesn't grip
honestly,
me like
reading-
this book does, I might not read.
Yeah, reading the rest of the trilogy, I think, will help with that, because it's just a fact that the other two books just are not as good as the first one.
Well, that's usually
And-
how books or movies are. It's just the first one's just
Yeah.
objectively much more better.
Well, I don't know, man. That first Star Wars movie is kind of rough.
True.
But yeah, this first book, I feel like is just like out the gate so fucking good that I don't think you would expect anything to really top it to begin with.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think like you would read this, fucking finish it with everything in your head and go, oh man, I bet every EU book is like this. So
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm just scared. It's just like, if we get into like the boring part, I'm just like, nah.
But once again, though, the other two books, it's like a slow fizzle. It's not like, wow, this is such a slog compared to the other one. It's a slow fizzle, so it tends to work like nicely. And I think by the time we finish the third book, I feel like it'll probably be like, okay, I'm good enough to at least get over some slogs, you know, and you have like the actual interest of the characters to bring you along. I feel like we probably should start with something more familiar after that, just in case. There's so many options, dude. I made a Star Wars book list that I sent to Rem a while. Did I ever send that to you?
I don't think so.
Okay,
because
let me get that
you probably
right now.
knew me like before. As just I don't read.
Yeah, I think I made it before I even like started a book club. Nope, that's his. That's his book list.
You've had this book club for not very long, have you?
No, not at all. Literally, like with the first book club area with you was like it was the first book club was with me, you, and Rem.
But didn't you and Rem like read some of the Thrawn trilogy?
He read that by himself actually after me nagging him to read it.
So this is the very beginning of the book club.
Yeah, this is the very first of the book club.
Alrighty. I felt like whenever you were like inviting me to join the book club, I thought you already read other books.
No, never. This is the first of the book club. We are the founders.
It really felt like you had like other books you've read before.
Yeah, because I would talk to him about the Thrawn trilogy. I think that's probably where that impression came from, because he would be reading the Thrawn trilogy and we'd talk about it. But yeah, I made that in Google Docs, and I put them all in chronological order.
Let me take a look at this. Is it in pain?
Yeah, I put it in pain.
Oh wow, that's okay.
Yeah.
What's up?
So are you guys just setting up a book club because you want to come back and talk to us?
No, we're literally still discussing.
Yeah, we're.
All right, cool.
We just went silent for a minute because I sent him a book list.
Oh, all right. Are you guys gonna be done soon, or?
Good question. We're kind of like nearing the end of it, but you know, some discussion works.
So can I get in another Tarkov round?
Yeah,
yes, you most definitely.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah, maybe two.
Guys, we're having fun. It's good shit. We're teaching the newest John how to play Tarkov.
Greater John. Oh my god, we need to make Greater and Lesser Johns.
Wait, yes,
I'm not John.
Which one is Lesser John?
The new John Garsand.
Okay, I'm renaming him.
So we got Lesser John, Greater John, and then Non-John.
Nah, Greater John is John. That's John.
I know.
And then Bob John is he's Bob.
Yeah, he's just always gonna be Bob.
He's a secret John. He's like a secret spy John.
Do I need to change my nickname to Not John?
We need to think of a better name in relation to John for that. I'm always going to call you Not John, so you're still going to listen to that, but when it comes to the actual server name...
How about Sometimes John? No. Damn.
There's got to be some sort of play on like Greater, Lesser that we can do.
Adequate John?
We'll
think of this later. We need to discuss
the better John.
Alternative John?
But we'll figure this out later so we can finish the book club.
Not as interesting.
Where were we before we got sidetracked again?
Okay, so novel guide. We were pretty much leading up.
Which one of you did this to my name?
It was Lewis.
I knew it.
I tried to be as nonchalant as possible when I said that. I fucking stuttered though, but it worked.
You got the job done.
Okay. So we were discussing the Kopej fight right before the Yellowface fight.
Yeah, we're okay.
We're pretty much up to the final fight.
The conversation after the fight.
Oh yeah.
Okay, we talked about how we were dissatisfied with the answer he gave, just like how Bane is, and even the Blade Master didn't believe the Master. And then we're going to talk about how Bane is going to tell her that he's going to challenge. Was that before or after the Blade Master fight?
I think that was after. That was after, right?
But how he was going to tell her that he was going to face the talented student. I'm going just terrible with names.
And then she drops that quote there, doesn't she? Is it there? Or is it before? I don't fucking know. I think too many chapters.
But that's also when like they kiss, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But like she still wishes him luck, even though she doesn't like that her plan is going to shit.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like how you even get like her own internal thoughts of like what the hell is happening.
Identify her as a potential threat, watched her, yada yada. Came to speak with you, she answered, about Bane. He twitched involuntarily at the name, and then cursed himself for his reaction. If Githany had noticed, she gave no indication. What about him? Yeah, I don't think the immediate conversation with them was too memorable, per se.
Yeah, I think
it was just kind of more of what we already knew, I feel like, at that point.
I think what I'm talking about is probably happened before the fight with the Blade Master, then.
Yeah. Well, anyway, go on.
I was talking about how we got to see in her thoughts how all her plans were going to shit.
Oh, yeah.
I just love the internal, like,
the fucking conflict in her and shit, yeah. It's like, my plans are going to shit, but do I like it?
A part of me is also hoping that this doesn't turn into some, like, normal, like, love fiasco, like, between them two.
Don't worry about that.
Because I'm
You're
just
good.
like, I'm not...
Competent writer here.
Okay.
You're good. You don't need to worry about that.
Okay, good. Because I'm just like, I'm not too, like, sure if it's, like, all natural or whatever, but I'm just like, I could care less. I'm here for the story, not some love story.
Yeah, it's there and treated as a background thing, but it does eventually culminate into something. So.
Alrighty.
But it's good. It's good shit. It's not at all like fucking, oh my god, more romance between Githany and fucking Bane. Ugh. It never takes center stage.
Even during the massaging, like, I don't want to call it a scene, but because it's not a movie, but like, when he's like massaging her back and neck, I guess it is a scene. But like even then, like you're getting backstory from her, so it doesn't feel like some like convoluted seduction plot.
Yeah. It's something that this writer does really well is that he never just focuses on one thing in his scenes. There's always like two things minimum going on. Like there's a subtext at all times.
Yeah, which I definitely enjoy the fact that there's more going on than just that what's actually going on.
Yeah.
But I guess now we gotta get to the part.
Hold up. We gotta talk about that. That was also another scene where it very descriptively described his muscles.
Just has to stop every few chapters to talk about his muscles.
He's in there in the writer's room writing, and he's like, "Oh shit! It's been a while since I mentioned Githany's beauty or Bane's muscles, hasn't it? Yeah, precisely 20 pages actually. Yeah, I should get that in there. He begins to massage the beautiful Githany with his pulsating."
Just like, we get it. He's strong. She's beautiful.
I think you've got some sort of conflicts going on there, Drew. You want to talk about it?
All right.
He's only able to talk to his therapist through his writings and his Star Wars books. He goes to his therapist and he just hands him a bunch of scribbled rough drafts of his book. And he's like, you can just talk to me, right?
Speaking is for the weak.
Why do you keep calling me a Sith, Drew? Okay, go on.
No, this Bane character,
misogyny.
is he you or is he what you wish you were?
Well, have you seen me? I'm so muscle. I have got so many muscles. And this very attractive woman who is really into me. I gave her a massage.
Now, these fantasies of yours, do these actually happen or are these just fantasies?
Big old muscle man. Big muscles. Fake. Veiny muscles. Did you answer the question?
Is this the part where you start questioning your sexuality? Are you bi? Are you coming out? Oh, that reminds
Actually,
me.
you know what? I think it's time I spoil the book for you.
No, hold up. I was literally telling my students because they wouldn't stop talking.
Githany is gay. That's how it ends.
Wait, really?
No.
Okay.
Did you imagine the ending of the book?
twist.
Everything's going down, and the plot twist of the book is Githany going, "I'm gay," and she just runs off, and the book ends. Part 2 next summer.
But literally, my athletes wouldn't stop like being loud and laughing. So I was like, I literally told them next person to laugh is gay, and they all started busting out laughing, and they're like, "We are a team, so we came out together." Like they came out of the closet together. I'm just like, fuck off.
Play together, we die together, we come out together.
I was like, literally, fuck off. Like they were being annoying, but there's moments like that make me love being a fucking coach.
Yeah.
Because it was also out of left field because that normally works because you're like next person to laugh is gay and they're all shut the fuck up. But no, that time literally all of them just together thought, let's laugh. And I even busted out laughing because I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Fucking truly wonderful the mind of a child is. Yeah, I feel like we've been avoiding the last fight because it is kind of forgettable.
It really is, and it's kind of
There's not a whole lot to talk about. You know, it happens, he gets his character moment, you know, and move on.
Yeah, well, I guess let's just dive into it now.
Alright, you start.
The fight could have definitely done without the rain. Like, that was definitely added for dramatic effect.
It needs dramatos.
I was just like...
Challenge you!
I will say I like how we did get into Bane's thoughts before the fight. He was like, he wasn't gonna look at this guy to like second guess his upcoming fight.
Oh, I appreciated that. It's like a fucking high schooler who's about to like talk to a girl who's like going through scenarios in his head last second.
Yeah.
Like,
and
it's like, hey, don't look at her in the eye. Don't look at the titties. Oh my god, just look at the titties.
But also like the fact that like this was his moment to show off, so he actually like practiced well instead of like hindering himself like normal. Like all this time he spent like faking it and just pretending to be bad or hiding, because I like the fact that he even talked about like it's easy for him to just hide in the background and it just came natural to him. But now like here's his time to like show off.
Provided he's also surrounded by 8-foot-tall, bald, muscle-built behemoths.
Wait, I thought he was the only 8-foot-tall, muscle-bald behemoth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. How the fuck did this come natural to him? But yeah, the fight happens. It's dramatic.
Yeah, the fight in itself is boring because I was already like entertained by the Blade Master fight. I do like the fact that it was like talking about him like holding back as much as possible. Like that part was entertaining to like just hear him like holding back and having the patience to do so, because that does go against everything they are taught as a Sith.
Oh yeah.
Because patience isn't something that comes natural to a Sith.
No, not at all.
So I did enjoy that
like
part.
Gluttony is like what being a Sith is essentially. Like to be gluttonous is to be a Sith.
Indeed. And just the fact that he had the pain, and then like when the fight is over, like he does beat up the guy, breaks his bone and all that, and he goes in for the killing blow, and like the Blade Master ends it, and you feel like the Blade Master is actually ending it so that way the guy doesn't get killed, because he is so important. Yeah. But later on, like she comes down and tells him like, why did you hold back? I'm just like, oh, he actually like, so maybe the Blade Master wouldn't have saved him and would have let him go through with it, but because he like hesitated for that quick second, he ended the fight.
I think he totally would have let it happen.
Yeah, me too. That's like,
it would have made sense to obviously like intervene, because, well, you know, the guy he's about to kill is like still a good like asset for the Sith, but when it comes to Kopej and like his specific like wants and desires, he has a huge bias and huge soft spot for Bane, so he totally would have let it happen just to feed further. Like, I think Kopej really does see him as like his pet project.
Yeah. Like, I like the fact that she literally comes down later saying like, why the fuck did you hold back?
Yeah. I really liked that scene too, actually. That was like such a cherry on top there.
Yeah, like that was honestly like came out of left field for me, because I was like, oh wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my first reaction when reading that scene for the first time, fucking while ago, was like, yeah, it was pretty much that. Like, I wasn't expecting it, like, at all. It made perfect sense when it happened. Like it was just, really well done.
But jumping back a little bit, like, him getting praised by the Blade Master, and even telling, like, all the students, like, a good Sith Lord has this patience, and like draws out the enemy to because like he didn't want to like he wanted to like destroy his enemy. He didn't want to just end him. He wanted to like humiliate him, destroy him.
All about revenge, you know.
Yeah. And I enjoyed where it talked about like how this really good student like was getting tired and was like doing these swings to just like save himself. Like he was just honestly just swinging it at some point. Yeah. Which actually, now I gotta jump back even further, because now talking about that reminded me of something I did want to talk about. The fact that like that conversation Bane has with the Blade Master about double-bladed swords and how they're like so confusing to him.
I thought that was honestly a little overdone.
I honestly enjoyed it. Just I enjoy getting a little more extra lore every once in a while. Like how the Blade Master brought up even like the whip weapon, and just like if you're not used to training with the weapon, any other weapon is like foreign to you. And the Sith Master even brought up the fact that the double-bladed has its own weaknesses. Yeah. Like you're worried about the second blade, but you don't realize how much weakness comes with the weapon too. Yeah. So I honestly kind of enjoyed that scene.
Yeah, it was super enjoyable to read, but I think just from a character perspective, in terms of Darth Bane, he kind of just turned into a blockhead there. I mean, like, it was a super easy concept to understand, but like it was kind of like, clearly this is something I'm not going to pick up on my own. It's like, what? Why though? He's just pretty easy concept to understand.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that Bane didn't catch on to it too.
Yeah,
but it was like, still nice to get that information.
Out of character for him, but that was really the only issue with that. Like, actually listening to that conversation was still fucking like really enjoyable.
And the fact that the Blade Master brought up, like, don't just study your opponent's weapon, like you still need to practice with your own. And Bane even brings up later, like, he was studying his enemy and studying the double-bladed lightsaber, but wasn't like taking away his own training with his own weapon. Yeah. So that was a nice callback.
You get more like really good kind of like lore fighting technique things from Kopej later on, which is nice. So you'll get more conversations like that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think they just get better and better, like as each conversation like props up in that regard. Amazing.
But now back to the part where she chased him down the stairs saying, why didn't you kill him? Yeah. That was definitely left field. I felt like there could have been more of a they could have fought more. I felt a little dissatisfied with how
Yeah,
quick
it
the
was
fight
pretty brief.
ended.
Yeah.
I wanted more out of that fight.
Oh yeah, that's right. You get a little bit on Rusan at the very end of 18, don't we?
Yeah,
that's right. You get the more political pressure they're getting about like sending the recruits to Rusan. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and, like again, I keep forgetting about that extra like outside stuff.
Yeah, because right now it's just like small building up to a larger thing. It comes into play later on, but you will appreciate the build up once it actually goes down.
Yeah, just as of right now, it just kind of feels useless and forgettable. Like I'm sure there is.
Does come into heavy play and really soon, like very soon.
Oof.
You will appreciate the small glimpses they give.
I feel like this book is also enjoyable, like going back through and reading it again, like a second time, just because this extra Risan shits that's going on, the first time through just doesn't come off as that important. So I definitely feel like a second time read through would definitely help you in.
Yeah, knowing the context of like what's actually happening during the time definitely helps out.
Yeah.
It just kind of like puts into a little more perspective, as to what's actually happening in the universe and like kind of why what's happening in the academy is kind of so important right now. Just from a more grand scale.
Yeah, because I honestly completely forgot about all the academies sending in their students to war.
Yeah, it's easy to forget with your first run that there's actually a war going on.
Yeah, because you're just so focused on this one guy.
But yeah, it's very soon it's going to come into play.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, it's just teetering on blowing up, man. Like, he's getting ready to throw that fucking ball.
Which I'm sure there is. Even though it feels like it's rolling now.
No, not at all. Just you fucking wait. Alright, so, I feel like just closing thoughts. What do you,
well,
overall?
We're not completely done yet, because there's like 2 more things I still want to talk about.
Okay.
Alright, the Blade Master, like, coming to Bane's room and giving him the lightsaber.
Oh, that's right, yeah, he got the curved hilt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super fucking cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fact that they brought in the fact that the Blade Master killed his master for that lightsaber, because that was the ways of the old, and I'm pretty sure that's what gave Bane the idea of the role too.
Yeah,
like, straight up,
definitely up there. You already got a little bit of a sense of when he was kind of getting into his bookworm stuff, but it's gonna start getting very, very heavy as to his ideas of a reformation of the Sith.
Yeah.
Society and shit is gonna be like fucking happening real quick.
But I feel like the Blade Master telling him that he killed his master after he learned everything from his master definitely gave him.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's definitely gonna be huge on the role too.
It's definitely probably the single biggest influence on him, like at this point in time.
But like, I even like the fact that God damn my throat. I think I need some water. Hang on. But like, the Sith Masters bring up the weakness of this new sword, but its strengths, just like how the double blade has its own strengths.
Yeah.
Right, he just feels so knowledgeable when it comes to the arts of lightsaber combat.
He really feels like a combat master. Like, he really does.
Yeah, like, literally, and like, he brought up the joke, like, just because you're getting this lightsaber doesn't mean you're ready to defeat me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't go getting those thoughts yet.
Fucking, there's a battle upcoming with him that's pretty fucking cool.
Ooh.
Fucking cool training sequence. But, yeah. Oh, yeah, I thought that scene was so cool. I remember there was a lore video I watched on Darth Bane when I was younger, in which it said Darth Bane was the first Sith to have a curved lightsaber. And I remember when I first read that, I'm like, what? He literally... He didn't even make his lightsaber.
Yeah,
Where the fuck did that come
received
from?
It from someone else.
Yeah, what do you mean he's the fucking first one? what? Like, I was so fucking. There's so much just inaccurate shit out there for lore channels.
Yeah, and just the fact that they aren't gonna dive as deep as we are.
Yeah, like,
but they also
my
gotta
biggest
remember they're a lore
inspiration
channel,
to
and they're
be
not
a
gonna-
Star Wars lore channel is just because so many of them are just flat out wrong.
Yeah.
It bothers me so much.
Here, you can do a lore video for Darth Bane once we complete the series.
Yeah, dude, but what on in specific? Because so much happens in this book.
True. Like, you just have to, like, summarize it down, but even that would be hard because so much fucking happens.
You know, I think it would be really good to make a lore video on what the fuck the Brotherhood of Darkness is, because I feel like nobody knows what the fuck that is.
True.
It was a very brief thing in Star Wars history, but it's hugely important to the history. I think more people should know about that. I feel like once we finish this book, we should, like, fucking work on a lore video for that.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be fucking killer.
Lore video over the darkness of the Brotherhood of Darkness featuring Rising Dragon.
Featuring Rising Dragon, dude. That's how you're gonna be introduced.
Yes.
By the way.
I'm completely fine with that, because I honestly enjoy the sound of that.
Yeah, dude. It's a nice sound.
I just wish I knew how to make a fucking intro. Because, like, that's one of the things I regret about, like, my YouTube right now is I don't have an actual intro.
I don't want an intro. I think intros are tacky, and if somebody has an intro, I just skip it.
Well, my intro won't be long. It'll just literally be you saying resin the way you do. Just
okay, that's good.
Like, but I need the background thing, and then I need, like, just your voice line.
Rising Dragon, dude.
That's just my problem, is I don't know how to fucking do that.
Is there fucking anything else on your mind right now with that book?
Yes. Whenever he gets called into the quote-unquote principal's office.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's an academy, you have the principal.
This is fucking funny. Anime plotline, dude.
Yeah. But, like, oh, I felt so fucking satisfied at the end of this chapter. Like, not satisfied, but, like, hungry.
Oh, the next chapter starts with him talking about his hunger, actually.
Ook. Alright. But, like, okay, like, he gets called in, and, like, I like how the fact that, like, the Sith Lord brought up the fact that he literally knew these training sessions were going on. Like, nothing went under his nose unnoticed, he just turned a blind eye.
Yeah, that I appreciated that.
Because, like, this guy's not a fool. Like, he knows what's going on.
Yeah, that's something that could have really easily been, like, unintentionally written in as a subtext, because you kind of were already getting that idea that nobody really likes Cordis, and Cordis is kind of, like, a little bumbling. But I feel like the scene kind of reinforced the idea that no, he's not bumbling. There's nothing that outright, like, really describes him as, like, an unknowledgeable guy, other than the fact that nobody likes him. And you're just kind of assuming, well, there's probably a fucking reason other than basic Sith rivalry, right? Like, no one likes him.
Yeah.
But, like, that like, reinforces, like, no, he's still a Sith Lord. He's still someone to be reckoned with. Like,
like, he was
I
like,
that
oh,
was
I see
really
you got a new
important.
lightsaber. I heard you got training from the Blade Master, and I heard you've been training with the one lady. And I'm just
I
like,
think it was
dang.
Cordis was the one that was in this. Wait, was it this scene that he was introduced, like, with, like, the fucking of all the shit in his office?
No, it was the first time.
Okay, it was the first time. But that was Cordis, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That was also a really fascinating scene to read.
I mean, I understand, like, you gotta go over, like, the bunch of stuff he has. But I was also like, okay, I'm just ready to move on to the plot.
Yeah,
Like, these are just trivial side things.
There's another scene kind of similar to that in the second book about the Jedi, which is done better because it's, like, actual artifacts and shit that have a little more ground with knowledge from the first book. So it's kind of like callbacks and stuff. But it's quicker than it was with Cordis's shit.
But I enjoy, like, the fact that, like, let's see here, how do I want to word this? When Cordis brings up the fact that Bane can't read the archives anymore, Bane actually was like, hold
Oh yeah,
up.
he got pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
this is literally where I'm getting all my knowledge from.
Yeah, that I really appreciated that. I probably never felt like more attached to Bane than at that moment, because that made me so fucking frustrated as someone who is a lore nerd and someone who, like you, who also is a lore nerd and also into history like me, would also make you really frustrated. And obviously, Bane is also frustrated. Like, never once in the book I felt more connected to Bane than in that scene.
Yeah. Like he started with the artifacts. Oh, I say artifacts. The manuscripts, and then went to the current masters, and then he went back to the manuscripts after the current masters abandoned him.
Yeah.
And now you want him to abandon the manuscripts and still not have a current master. Because he has to end his current training with the Blade Master. He can't read the books anymore. And
it's all about the rivalry. Dude,
is the rule of abandoning Bane still in place?
See, I'm thinking that's what it is. I think he was genuinely curious because he was powerful, but at the same time, he doesn't want him to get too far because that would be a win for Cordis and Kopej, or a win for Kopej, I meant. And Cordis doesn't want Kopej to win because they don't see eye to eye in any reason, but they both obviously have pull when it comes to talking to Lord Khan.
But yeah, I was genuinely pissed when he was like, no more reading books for you. I was like, what the actual fuck?
Oh, to go really far back to the fucking, like, the battle scene in space where we were just kind of trashing on it, the one part that I wanted to sing the praises of is the characterization of Khan actually being like a somewhat likable guy who's just like, yo bro, chill, we got this type thing. But the fact that like fucking Kopej is just not taking any of the shit, like he's a wrecking ball of reality. He's like, dude, like seriously, I'm not gonna take your shit like everyone else does. I'm gonna bring up the shit, you know? Like I really, really liked that dynamic. And the fact that Khan didn't just bullshit him either, but actually leaned in and is like, oh, shit's actually going down, then I will discuss it with you.
Yeah.
Like, it was nice that he isn't just like, oh, dude, let's get this going. Like, he can actually have a real talk. And that's something that gets further elaborated on, like, you know, later on in the book, but it's nice.
Yeah, something that annoyed me about the Brotherhood of Darkness is, like, one guy would talk and the rest were, like, sheep and just, like, agree. And then if someone had a counter argument, they'd still be sheep to the next person and agree with that. But they wouldn't have their own opinions.
That gets brought up directly in this book. You won't be disappointed.
Bet.
Such good shit. Alright, I think that's pretty much everything, right?
Well, we gotta talk about Bane literally walking out the door and telling the headmaster to go fuck himself.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That scene was just so fucking good. He's like, no, fuck you. I'm not gonna follow anything you fucking say. Clearly, you're fucking insane.
Because Bane was literally talking about, like, this is probably a test, and if I just turn back now, he'll let me back in. But no, I'm not gonna go with this.
It's all about that fucking rivalry, and that pisses me off so fucking much.
Like, he's talking about, like, there are probably hidden secrets that are probably still hidden in the other temples. I'm just like, yes, I want to know these secrets.
It's so good. You have to read more. I want to talk about it.
We'll get there.
We're so close. Just finish me.
Alright, so final thoughts now.
Fucking baller. Yeah, Bane is a fucking baller. Githme is a cool fucking character. The rivalry between Cordis and fucking Kopej is super cool, and the way it affects Bane is fun. Like,
I really enjoyed the manipulation of, like, everyone trying to manipulate each other.
Oh yeah, it's great. I appreciate that, like, even though they're trying to make strides to kind of unite the Sith, they can't help but, like, act like Sith still.
Because it's literally in their nature, or, like, in the nature of how they are, like,
it's a contradiction that Bane will directly see, you know, the idea of, like, you are trying to actively fight against what makes a Sith to, like, make the Sith win. like in the process, you won't be Sith anymore.
Mm-hmm. It honestly also pains me the fact that the current Sith are trying to distance themselves so much from the past Sith.
Right, it's so shitty.
Like, even in German history, they teach, like, Nazi Germany.
Yeah. But still censor them in movies and media.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a shame, dude. It's a shame. It's just, oh my god, we're on the cusp of so much.
Is this what they call edging you?
You're fucking edging me so hard.
What if I told you I read another chapter?
I
didn't.
You.
I didn't. I literally forced myself to stop because I'm just like, if I keep going, I'm not gonna stop.
That, like, where you stopped is like the perfect place to stop, but it's still like, oh my god, there's still so much you want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's gonna be hard, dude. I feel like from this point on, there's just not a good place to stop, so you're really gonna need some
I was really trying to think, I need to stop because I don't know where the next stopping
good
point is.
fucking luck from this point on, dude. You really need to force yourself to stop. Like, more than you ever will before. The ball is, like, going. It's going, man.
Like, you don't notice it within the chapters because I just keep reading. I don't, like, stop for each chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just like reading until I find the point that I'm supposed to stop. So I don't notice the cliffhangers between each chapter.
Yeah. It's just oof.
But I guess we'll see. We said like chapter 25, right?
Yeah. It's just I can't. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck. It's having to stop. Anyway, did you take a look at that book list?
I briefly looked at it.
Okay, cool. I made that as like a fucking way to like we can choose from this list specifically because there's like fucking 300 something EU novels alone.
Mm.
And that's just including the adult stuff, like the actual full-length books. Because, like, honestly, the young adult series is, like, Jedi Apprentice about, like, Obi-Wan and fucking Qui-Gon's adventures. Like, they're meant for a younger audience, but they very clearly, like, wrote them for people, like, older audiences in mind who's reading the other material.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are so fucking solid, and no one should pass up on them for the fact that they're considered young adult novels. Because they're so fucking good. Like, so, like, those 300 something don't even include those.
Damn.
So I made this as a way to trim it down and organized it, by era.
See, I already know so much about, like, the Clone Wars and, like, the, like, the original series. Like, just because, like, I have, like, over, like, more than the average knowledge of Star Wars. So I'm really enjoying getting into like the Old Republic stuff that I normally wouldn't know.
Yeah. I am honestly most excited to get into the post-Endor stuff with you, like later down the road, because I feel that's where like the EU is at its best.
Most likely, yeah. But I also feel like I've also like got a fair enough knowledge there too. To where
no, you don't. I disagree.
Alright, sure, fine. I'm not gonna argue this with you.
I mean, do you know a lot about like post-Endor events, like when it comes to the old expanded universe?
I know very bits and pieces, like I said.
It's just
whenever I was younger, I just didn't get into the post-Endor books, just because I didn't like reading when I was younger, and I still don't unless I'm forced to.
Dude, I'm just most excited to read The New Jedi Order. That's a series I haven't finished. I've come nowhere near close to finishing. In fact, I've only read the first book. Because, like, it was so fucking good, but it was also like, holy shit, there's so much I haven't read. I want the complete EU experience before I continue this.
But it also feels weird that when I'm going to be reading the post-Ender stuff, I'm going to have to completely distance myself from the shit that happens in the newer movies.
Oh yeah, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Like really, like literally by just reading like the first fucking page of the first book, you'll go, okay, this is completely tonally different and on a completely other level. There's literally no way you can confuse them. It's so tonally different.
Well, not the fact that I'm literally going to have to be like, none of this leads to like the newer movies. Like, do not connect them in any way.
No, they don't. But if it helps, like the fucking old expanded universe timeline actually goes past that of the movie timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll have like much more to lead into than you were if you were leading it into the movies.
But like I said, when it came to this, the few chapters of new chapters that we read, I was disappointed with it about like how the Force was characterized in these chapters than the before chapters.
Yeah.
Like, that disappointed me a little bit. Like, it no longer felt like Bane was being led by some destiny. He was actually just living his life.
I mean, once again, there is a very reasonable, like, easy to come to explanation for that, but I do get what you mean. Yeah.
It felt disappointing, honestly, that part.
Yeah. Once again, one thing to read that's like required is Darth Plagueis, because that like delves right into the ideas of whether or not the Force is guided by something and whether or not you're supposed to serve it or like break it to your will.
Yeah.
Head first in those ideas. And plus, once again, the entire origin story of young teenage Palpatine. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking interesting. Like, it's so fucking cool. He's a normal guy. It's weird.
You're just a normal guy from Naboo.
He's just a normal guy, child of a senator from Naboo. It's weird. It's so weird. But yeah, there's so much I want to read with you, man. Now that I know you're into it. Like, fucking, the book about Revan by the same author who did this is fucking great. It's very controversial because of how it decided to handle the character, but that's not really something that's going to bother you, I don't think. Because it's really only in reference to the first game, and mostly in reference to the MMO, that of which is kind of
and then if it references to that shit, then I won't know a single thing.
Yeah, you won't really notice it, and outside of that, it really, the big complaints about it are just like really, oh, I didn't want the character to go this way. It's not like Last Jedi where the characters act uncharacteristic. It's just like, oh, I don't want my character to end this way type thing.
See, that's the thing. I want to get more into the Old Republic stuff too, because that's where my knowledge is like the weakest.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the books never had the time to properly expand it on it, which is a shame. The Old Republic stuff is mainly in the MMO and the KOTOR games, but the books that we have are very good. For instance, Revan. The best part about Revan is that it goes so into detail of like an actual Sith society outside of the academies and whatnot, how the society, the people live in a Sith-run like rule. And it's also great because it has like, that's before the Brotherhood of Darkness by a couple thousand years, so it is the truest form of the classic Sith order.
Like, see, you had my curiosity, now you have my attention.
Yeah.
Because all you ever learn about is like the Republic and the good side and how they exist, but you never get to go into like how the Sith exist.
Yeah, that's what Revan delves into deep. You follow Revan obviously, but there's also a Sith character you follow, and he exists solely on I think it was Korriban actually. No, it wasn't Korriban. It was fuck, I totally forgot what planet it was. It's one of like the Sith capital essentially. And it goes into like the actual politics of Sith and like the Dark Council, how they interact with each other. It delves into like really old lost arts of Sith that's like exclusive to this book, because by the point of Darth Bane, it's a lost art. Like, it's so fucking interesting. I really think that if we want to go more into Sith stuff after we finish the Bane trilogy, I think we should start with Revan.
Yeah, because I really enjoy learning about the Sith. And I just enjoy reading, like, just the gray areas of a universe.
It's great through Revan. There's probably one of the coolest scenes in the EU. It's even without really fully understanding Revan's backstory, it just is so well done because the writer's so competent, is the scene where Revan actually gets his memories back in that book is, like, so fucking invigorating and like probably the best piece of fan service like ever done. Like it's oh dude, it just feels so fucking good when he gets his memories back and what he does immediately after. Like so good. Yeah, I think that wraps this up for now.
But yeah, I think we touched on about everything.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 25, boyo.
Yes, sir.
Alright, I'm gonna join Gay Boys. I don't think I'm actually gonna play Hunt with him. I think we're just gonna chat for a bit and then go to sleep.
But it was a shame that Noah couldn't be throughout the entire conversation.
Yeah, it sucks. That sucks. We probably could have gotten some spicy memes out of him.
So like,
I am so curious of his input on like the more minor details, though. It sucks.
Because when we do bring up the minor details, he does try to like join in with us on it.
It's fun. It's good. I want his input. I really do.
Mm-hmm. It's just a shame we had this conversation so late. It's a good thing we didn't push it back all the way to like next Wednesday, because I would have had to reread it.
Yeah. Wait, sorry, what? I was not listening.
No, I was saying it's a good thing we didn't push it back all the way to next Wednesday.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Too much to remember. It was already a bit much.
To Sunday, that still would have been too long.
Yeah. Yeah. But fuck yeah, this book is great.
Mm-hmm.
Killer, man.
I also still find it a shame that Lewis isn't getting into it as much.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. I don't think he's really gonna get into it. I'm pretty sure he's not actually gonna sit down and just listen to it or read it without doing something else.
Yeah.
Short attention span.
Wait, can I forget, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, so I'm the oldest one here, okay.
Yeah, you are, what are you, like 21 or something?
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn, y'all make me feel old.
Yeah. You fucking geezer.
But at least I'm not pulling fucking Sheldon.
Oh my god, that's like an embarrassment of a human being. He has such a sad life. It's so depressing to think about him like as an actual person in the real world outside of just him being crazy on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really bums me out. I think that's probably one of the worst insults you could give someone too.
Yeah. The fact that you exist outside of Discord bums me out.
Your existence makes me depressed. Poor guy. I wish him the best. Why are we
such assholes to people?
We're such assholes. We can't be in a Discord with just us. We're too narcissistic.
Yeah, like even like once Noah left, we were fucking bullying it. Like I feel bad.
Oh my god,
I'm just straight up an asshole.
Yeah, it was so fucked up. I feel terrible.
And then when Lewis left, we bullied him.
I want to get it off. Yeah. Hey, Lewis, we're just talking about you.
Oh, thanks.
Bullying you so hard.
What are you saying?
We were just bullying you so hard.
Oh. Alright, cool.
What's up? Yeah, we're just about
Lewis. He doesn't give a shit that we bully him.
I don't fucking care.
Well,
I bully the fuck out of you guys all the time anyway.
True.
Actually, I think the only person I wouldn't say that to would be Rem.
Yeah.
He seems a little fragile. It was just, did you get that? Oh, you weren't there for that. There is one time that I thought was so fucking funny where, like, his brother was just being a typical brother. He's like, hey, if you don't get off that, I'll wake you up and punch you. He's like, okay, fine, sure. He's like, sorry, guys, I gotta go to bed. And then he sends a message. He's like, sorry, guys, me and my brother tend to have a bit of a rivalry. I really do apologize. I'm like, what? What do you...
Yeah.
Okay.
He also sent a different version of the same message. I thought it was funny.
I thought that was so... It's like, oh my god, that's so wholesome.
He said... What was it? Oh, sorry about that. My brother was being a bit cranky. And he joined the next day and he immediately apologized. I went, yeah, nobody fucking cared.
Yeah, it was just so obnoxious.
And he just went, oh.
Yeah, sorry, bro. Me and my bros had sometimes. I'm sorry to include you guys in that. I hope you can forgive me. That was the exact quote.
Wait,
Yeah,
Coconut. You want to know how long our book session went? 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Ooh.
Plus a few more minutes.
Yeah. 2 hours, 30 minutes. Probably would have went a little bit longer if Rem was able to stay.
Yeah. And would have went on even longer if Lewis here. Okay, whatever.
I'm pulling him back. No, we're finishing that sentence.
If
cool,
Lewis
I didn't have to
here
pull you back.
would finish his fucking
Wait, what?
book and actually pay
Yeah.
attention to the book,
Fucking Lewis,
I don't have
pay
the ability
attention,
to drag,
nerd.
or else I would drag him back.
Lewis, I want you to do nothing but lay in your bed as you go to sleep and play the audiobook.
Who?
You.
No, not
When you
happening.
tuck her up to go to bed, just put on the audiobook.
Not happening. I literally can't do that.
What? Why?
Literally, if I have anything play, my brain will focus too much on it, and I won't end up sleeping.
I don't care
Good.
about your sleep.
Listen to the book.
That's not the issue. That has nothing to do with it.
I'll do
Our
it tomorrow.
issue is
The point
you're
is
listening
to
to
get
the
you to
book
focus,
and doing something
hyper-focus.
else, so you're not grasping the book completely.
You must grasp it firmly.
Firmly grasp it.
20 strap me into like one of the like fucking Black Ops 1 like interrogation rooms, and instead of flashing that numbers on the screen, just constantly flash
Oh, that's so weird to
quotes
see.
from the
Look at the
book.
message Rhythm gives. It said joined book club, book club, book club. It's fucking hilarious. I totally forgot what I was about to say. I got so distracted by book
We were
club.
talking about strapping Lewis into a Black Ops 1 chair.
Yeah, that's
At
right.
the
Yeah,
book.
I'm not fucking already treating you like some fucking 7th grader who refuses to fucking do his book report.
Coconut. That's because I was that 7th grader that refused to do my book report.
That's fucking.
I was also the 8th grader that refused to do it, the 9th grader, the 10th grader, the 11th grader, and the 12th grader.
I imagine it's super easy for fucking Ryan to chase people down to do gym work because he's literally chasing them down.
Yeah, I'm literally.
I mean, look at the bright side, Ryan. Even if you don't manage to get them to do the gym work, you're still managing to get them to work out.
True.
If you don't get your exercise in, I'll whip you with this fucking bat. But yeah, seeing as Ryan over here is the actual teacher, I'm leaving it up to you to watch him and force him to do his book report.
I literally left that shit to Noah while I was in a call with someone else.
Noah is okay. Do you think Noah has the kind of fucking thing we're looking for to be able to force him to do something?
True.
Okay,
I mean,
he's stern, but then as soon as someone talks over him, he's done. He'll start off strong, and then Lewis will say no.
Wait, what will I say?
No.
see, even now he's not
No.
paying attention, just like you. He wasn't paying attention to his audiobook.
Hey, what do you mean not paying attention to audiobook? Fuck off.
You were paying attention
Anyway,
to it.
don't
but
question
you
why I'm on
weren't-
Facebook. It was just like the original clip. It's
Lewis,
weird.
don't get me wrong.
But-
You were paying attention to the audiobook, but you weren't firmly grasping all its information.
Shut the fuck up. Only thing I'm gonna firmly grasp around here is your fucking balls.
Oh, I
Just
thought you were
imagine if he firmly grasped the audiobook instead. Maybe if you weren't firmly grasping your balls, you could fucking firmly grasp the audiobook, goddamn.
Watch this shit.
But next Wednesday, right?
Yep, next Wednesday, 25.
Alright, I'm gonna end the recording and go to sleep.
Alright.
Wait, you guys fucking heard that, right?
No, because I'm not watching the stream, because...
Watch the stream.
Hey, let me end the recording first.
It's literally like a